You're listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the M.T.V.B. podcast. Episode 5 this is, isn't it? I'm your host Ant-Man, and as well as those Ant-Man, this is the podcast that talks about movies, TV shows, video games and board games. And today with me I have a group of guys that have been back a couple of times and they just want to talk about some of their favourite shows. Hello guys, welcome back.
Hey, hello, how you doing?
Hello. If you'd like to go around the table and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm John.
Hi, I'm Gal.
Hi, there's Little G.
And I'm Kurge.
Hey, it's Goku.
And like I said, guys, thank you for coming back and to talk about something different today. TV shows. Our first episode about TV shows. So basically, we're going to go around, talk about why we're into TV shows, what we're currently watching at the moment, what we're looking forward to, and then we're going to end with our top 5 all-time favourite TV shows. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So let's go around the table first, and let's start with the question: is first off, do you guys watch a lot of TV shows?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we all do here. I think everyone's watching something right now. 100%. I'm pretty sure it's either on Netflix or any other program.
Especially now with COVID and being on furlough from work.
Definitely.
Ain't much else to do sometimes during the day. Sit and watch a show. So.
It's hard to stay away from it, really.
Yeah, you can't. Exactly.
There's so much to choose from now as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? It's like
Amazon Prime,
Amazon
Netflix,
Prime,
was it
Netflix,
Disney Plus?
Now TV, Disney Plus.
Yeah, so
What else is there?
Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I'm on that.
It's just endless.
Netflix are doing a lot of animes now, so...
Yeah, Netflix as well?
Yeah, they got really good ones there.
Of course. It's weird though, isn't it? Like, I think I've given up on terrestrial. Like,
Oh, gotcha.
BBC... I mean, actually, BBC iPlayer got some good stuff. Like the BBC.
Yeah,
I haven't watched some of the archive.
they had that Girihachi.
Yes, they did.
That was BBC iPlayer. That was a good show.
I haven't actually had a BBC, was it terrestrial channels for ages? I haven't watched it for maybe over 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have any of you watched Gangs of London yet?
Oh, yes.
See
yes.
that.
I need to get around to that.
Yeah, you need to.
you
Oh
have to get on
man,
that.
you'll love that.
That's
If you like the Raid, you'll love that.
No way, you're comparing to the Raid.
No, because it's the same guy who made the Raid, made the TV show Gangs of London.
Okay, but is there anything close to the
Very
Raid?
good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's the fight, when you watch the fight scenes, the action scenes, you're like, you know, this is from the guy that did the Raid. So
I was expecting it to be similar to like Top Boy because it's basically
no, nothing like it at all.
No. Excellent show. Oh.
Really? Okay.
Okay, we get excited.
So do you? So obviously you're watching them. Do you still enjoy them, or do you just watch them just for the sake of getting past time now, or is it?
Me personally, I don't. I'm being picky on what I watch. I don't know about everyone else. I look at the title.
So yeah, because I was going to say, when Netflix or Amazon first come out, I personally was just watching shows for the sake of watching it. You know, it was like, oh, it's another series. Get it over and done with, and now I'm like you. Now where I'm like,
you actually.
I think I'm actually going to choose what I want to watch now.
Because there's so much to choose for. You don't want to waste your time. You're like, no, it has to be worth my time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually basically give it 3 episodes. Yeah. If it doesn't hook me by the 3 episodes, that's that. I won't bother. I wait for recommendations, especially from Ant once a week. I was like, oh, you need to watch this. It's damn good. And I'm like, okay. But sometimes I watch.
Well, you do the same with me as well. You say watch this and watch that. Apart from Black Sails.
That's a good show, dude. That's a very good show.
It's really good.
I love pirates and stuff, so I love that show.
Little G thinks he's a pirate.
I am a pirate. I love pirate games.
Yeah, it's like, with me as well, I don't know, I find now that I'm scheduling it. So for me, Monday has to be the night that I watch this show, and Tuesday I have to see an episode of this.
No,
stuff like that. I try it and it works, but then again, I feel like I'm still missing out on a lot of shows.
If I love watching something, that's done within that week. I can't watch one episode a week or something. I hate when I don't know, some of the channels do one episode a week or one episode a month. I can't do that. That bugs the crap out of
But
me.
that just takes the suspense out of it. Like you
No.
got to savor.
Why
You
wait
got to
for
savor
it?
the you know.
And with social
the
media
taste of
as
the
well
episode.
now, it's very difficult. It's very difficult with social media as well now. Because you say to yourself, I'm not going to watch that this week. I'll watch a double next week. And by then you might have found out what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Somebody
you've got to be
will
very
post it on
careful.
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, that's happened.
Or
to
at
me.
work, someone's talking about it, and you're like, oh, my days.
So Big G, let me ask you something. Seeing as you're tied down just like I am, do you have a TV series that you watch by yourself, and then a TV series you watch with the missus or with the family, or?
It's weird. Like, my missus is not too much into films or movies, which I have gotten around to her watching a lot of, like, the mainstream films with her. But TV shows, I'm still working on that.
Okay.
But I do watch Stranger Things with my mum. She loves that.
Okay.
Yeah, she's big into like shows. She keeps still bugging me about Smallville.
She's back to it with that, man.
She like, oh, why'd you give it? Because originally you lent it to me, didn't you? And,
That's right,
and
yeah.
she was annoyed that I gave it back, and then I was like, no, it's on.
It's on Amazon now.
It's on Amazon now. Don't worry. And she keeps bugging. When are you gonna put that on? When are you gonna? And I'm like, okay.
She's got taste. Good lady.
She loves Superman, but she used to watch what's that one with Clark Kent? The TV shows in the mid-90s.
Oh, The Adventures of Lois and Clark.
That's it. Yeah, she loves that.
Amazing
She
shows.
loves that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So yeah,
Dean Cain as Superman. He was actually
it was a
damn
good,
good
it was a
Superman.
good show. I remember that. But yeah, me personally, shows I don't mind watching it with other people. Like some shows I watch it with, like I like watching it, rewatching it with other people where I notice little things here and there. But I tend to like watching it on my own. Whereas I don't know, it's just me because I watch a lot of my shows like at work. You know, I got a break or whatever, and I've clear like shows, seasons within like week or two, and that's why I just tend to watch it on my own.
Well, especially the job that we do as well with
Yeah.
nights and stuff.
Yeah.
You kind of like.
And on our phones, just watching away. Whereas some people at work ask me, "Well, how do you watch it on your phone?" And I'm like, "Well,
Kind of have to now, really.
but yeah, I'm used to watching it on my own. But it doesn't. I can watch it with other people. It's no issue. But watching it on the big screen with everyone is amazing as well. Getting everyone's
Experience,
reaction.
isn't
Yeah.
it? Just like binge watching with. That's another thing, binge watching.
I think we're all
I
done
mean,
that.
it's something that I heard and I thought, how can people do that and waste their lives? But there's certain shows where you're so engrossed, in kind of
And
like
you
what's
need
going
to
on,
know
kind of
what-
thing.
yeah.
You just want to know what
Exactly,
happens
and,
next. Like, no, I can't wait next week.
Can't
I
wait
can't
to-
wait tomorrow. I need
That's
to watch it now.
Yeah, and
I think everyone's done that.
Yeah.
Like, especially like laying in bed. Like, you know what? I need to put that episode
to
on.
watch
I'm
it,
going to
yeah.
need to watch it.
I'm guessing those are in your top five, the ones who binge watch. Binge watch.
yeah.
One or two of them.
like
definitely.
But how many times have you like binge watched a show and you think there's only 6 episodes? I'll watch all 6. Next thing you know, it's 4 in the morning.
yeah.
Oh, I've done
And
that.
you think,
lost track of time.
I think I'll go to bed now. And it's like get to like 1 o'clock and you think, oh, I'll just watch another one. And then before you know it, it's 4 and you've watched all 6 and you think,
and
wow.
then you got to wake up in 2 hours.
The
for work.
power of the cliffhanger, eh?
Yeah.
Got to watch another. Got to get one more in.
The TV shows have a way of gripping you, especially the main ones. It's just, especially end of the seasons. It's just like, oh my god, I can't believe they left it like that. And you have to wait another whole year for the next season. It's like, what the hell, man? You can't do that.
Yeah, but there's so much choice as well now.
Yeah.
It's like I keep finding myself going back to Netflix and my list, and I'll look at the new stuff and I'll think, oh yeah, I wanted to watch that, and then you think, do you know what? I'll just watch another couple of episodes of that thing that I was watching already. So I might have already seen it and finished it, but I'll sit and watch another couple of episodes even though I've seen them before. So,
But now I've got so much on my list to watch, and now I just go on recommendations. If you tell me and like today, oh, you need to watch this, I'll be like, you know what, I'm going to watch that. So I don't actually go by my list.
by your
I
list,
actually
it's
go
true,
on
yeah.
three
but
people.
his
tell me to watch
recommendations are
something.
legendary,
Yeah.
so,
That's it. Yeah. So I don't actually do that anymore. I just literally, someone told me to watch it, I'm gonna give it a go.
It's very true. It's like really quickly, like John, I think you recommended was it Warriors? No, what's that show with on Amazon Prime with Al Pacino? I've forgotten the name.
Hunters.
And the thing is, me and my dad are hooked on that. And he doesn't watch TV shows, but he's like, we have to watch Hunters tonight. And I'm like, Dad, that's not scheduled for Tuesday. Screw it. You know, it's like,
Stick with the program. It's the schedule.
the program's there, come on. But it's so gripping. And the ending of that, mind blowing. If anyone wants
Yeah,
to
but it's
see
like
it,
the trailer for it didn't grab me,
Yeah.
it's 100%.
and I watched the trailer for it and I thought, I might watch it, or I'll get round to it. And then someone at work said, "Have you watched Hunters yet?" And I went, "Nah, it's something I'll get to eventually." And then I was sitting at home one evening and I didn't really know what to watch, and I thought, "Oh, do you know what? a bit like what Gal said about 3 episodes if it hasn't grabbed you. So I thought, well, I'll watch 1 or 2 and then we'll see. And I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
Well, like, that
What is
kind
this
of
about?
concept is, I don't know. Have you seen Anne?
I watched the first episode, and I don't think I could get past the Israeli Al Pacino. Really,
You see,
Yes.
now that's
That's a
what
turn
put me off the trailer. I watched the trailer and I see Al Pacino trying to do this Israeli accent, and I thought, please.
Yeah.
And then someone said, no, try and get over it and watch it. It is very, really good. And I was going, yeah, right, okay. And then, like I say, one evening I thought, no, do you know what? I will try and watch it, and I'll try and put him out of mind. And once you kind of do that, it is actually very, very good.
Very good. Yeah.
I've got to say how like we are spoilt for choice nowadays, aren't we? Like there's so many things like you can just be at home. Oh, I want to watch this today. Oh, it's at Amazon Prime. That's on Netflix and this. Whereas before it was like all in telly. Like I got to say, I only got into TV shows like as big as I'm into it now. Only maybe like in the last 7 years. I'd have been like watching beforehand, but not as much as I have now. Like, there's just so many now, you know, there's loads.
Too much.
And then,
every other week they release one. And
Exactly.
You don't know
but
what
we're spoilt for choice, and it's good. It's good though, isn't it?
a good
You just
thing,
could be like,
Some good content, though.
Yeah, no.
I'm in a mood for this, or I need to, and it's especially like you can just leave it. Like you might not watch it for a year, and a year later you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to go back to that, and then it will hook you again. It's like, oh my god, yeah, this is actually going good.
It's actually good. Like, so you can pick which you want
Just
to watch. You don't just watch it for the sake of
Put
it.
it in your
Now we
list.
actually pick. Yeah, exactly. So you
Like,
can browse.
sometimes I'll just literally browse through my list on Netflix. Like, so, oh yeah, I've got this to watch. Oh yeah, I'll watch that. Oh yeah, I need to get on there. It's so good.
Do you guys watch specific categories, or do you guys watch everything, or just give everything a
that
chance?
was going to be the next question. Are you
Oh,
into
shit,
certain? No, you can't really.
No.
It's like, are you into certain types, like your thrillers, your actions, your animes, cartoon series like like Simpsons and Family Guy are animation technically. Paradise PD, Brickleberry, all that sort of stuff.
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty. So they will all still be added into that.
Going to that question, like I literally can watch anything. I'm not restricted. Like I know some people can't do subtitles, and I know we've had conversations with you, and like it's just people who can't do subtitles and watch, they're missing out on so much good shows. So
Unbelievable.
much.
Yeah, people actually say, I'm not going to watch this because it's not in English, and it's easy, but if you do get around to it, there's also, there's audio description in a lot of these shows. But even if it's not, just pause it and read it.
I've watched so many subtitle shows that I even watch English in English shows in subtitles. It's weird. It's just weird. Like I can watch like the strangest things, so there'll be subtitles, and then someone will walk in while I'm watching them. Why are you watching subtitles? Like it's in English.
You're just used to reading it. I think that's what we all do. We're just used to reading it.
This is it.
But I'm just for me, I can watch, like I'm into anime, Korean stuff, or some Korean.
What about the rest of you? Because this has been the big gal show so far.
You can see how passionate he is.
It's like,
I'll step away.
Yeah, no, I think I think he's big on it. Like, you're into quite a lot of stuff. Me specifically, I'm into my anime. I'm into more specifically crime, like psychology kind of stuff. So I'll tell you, you'll probably see it in my top 5. You're very picky about that. So that, thrillers, horror. I'm into horror, but I do watch everything. I don't hold myself back just to those categories.
Exactly.
Like I said, if you give me a good recommendation, I will watch it.
I'll watch a trailer for anything. And if the trailer grabs me, I'll watch it. It doesn't matter what it's about, or it doesn't matter what country it comes from.
Yeah.
When we watched that that Spanish one, what's that about the bank?
Money Heist.
Money Heist.
Oh,
I forgot for a minute. I had the Spanish name in my head.
In my top 10, by the way,
English
not
one.
top 5.
And that's fantastic. But I've watched some brilliant Danish ones, Dutch programs, loads of Korean TV. There is just we really are spoilt for choice now. I mean, I've got Netflix, Now TV, at BBC iPlayer, Amazon, and
Wow, yeah.
That's what you need, really. That's what you need, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't, like you were saying, I haven't watched normal BBC or ITV for years. I don't need to, because there's so much content that is better than what they do on other channels. So it's not like it's not like I will only watch horror. I'll watch anything if the trailer's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't usually matter who the star in it is either. If it's a good story, I'll watch
exactly.
100%. What about you, Coach?
For me, I'm open to anything. Again, like Little G said, I'm mainly I mainly watch my TV shows when it's recommended. Because what I tend to do, basically, I'll start a series watching the first episode, and if that first episode isn't that good, I'll kind of prejudge how the whole series would be based on that one episode, which I really shouldn't do, but it's just a bad habit, and that's why I listen to my friends.
I think it's the mood you've got to be in to watch it as well. 'Cause even sometimes I'm like, do you know what, this ain't grabbed me, but if I go back another time, I bet this ain't that bad actually.
Wondered why I didn't watch it the first time.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm down for anything. I watch a lot of anime as well. Any Rick and Morty fans out there, I watch that as well. That's pretty much me. What about you, Gokul?
I mean, it's funny. Like before, I always pick shows that were kind of just like realistic shows. Like I like the realistic stuff. I never wasn't really into like kind of the mystics and like the fantasy and that kind of thing. So really heavy on like
you're not Game of Thrones fan.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh
no
my God! The door's right there. You can leave now.
Why is he on this podcast?
Well, the thing is, I would have kicked you out, but then after that very last episode, I'm just like, you're not missing much now, mate.
I thought
you can't judge the whole thing on that.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, I can.
But I can see how gripping this is because look, I was in Thailand with a few friends a few years ago, and we were staying like last day. We treated ourselves. We're going to stay in like this nice resort hotel, which is really cheap there, by the way. And we're sitting there. We have like an outdoor pool and everything. And what does my mate do? He pulls out his laptop and he just streams like some Korean stream of like I think at that time it was season 4 of Game of Thrones. Like, dude, what are you doing? It's not that good, is it? And he was like, you have no idea. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to
life. You're not watching.
We was all along for that ride, and then
that last episode. I know exactly what you're talking about, but they're not like. Don't let anyone bother. Watch the whole series. Is amazing. How many seasons?
Would you go back and rewatch the whole lot?
Yes, it was amazing.
Even though you don't like the ending.
I do not. No, because the whole series.
Because let's go back to a previous episode when I said about The Last of Us 2.
Yes.
See, even though that ending, I'm never going to replay that.
Are you kidding me? You won't go back to number 1 to play number 1?
Nope.
Oh, that's.
I mean,
number 1 was amazing.
It was a bad season, but I don't think you can judge the whole for Game of Thrones on that one season, because it has been amazing, like up until the last season.
The last season was by far the weakest one, and it doesn't matter what anybody says. They rushed it. I mean, I would have rather they did like say 4 episodes that were an hour and a half long, for the sake of it, rather than
4 more seasons out of it.
Well,
which they should have done.
I mean, it was just so rushed. It was unreal, and it's such a shame because as a good show, and yes, it was a very, very good show. It was just so sad how they it was like, oh, look, that'll do. And you think, well, no, the justice wasn't done as far as I was concerned. Not on about the ending itself, but the actual last season. There was so much more they could have done with it and made it better. That then, in that case, then the actual ending might have been better, even if it did end like that. Because the story they built up through the that actual season might have made that ending a bit better. But to rush it like that and then just dump that ending on, it was like, really? Seriously, guys?
Yeah. I think the way I look at it, it's because it was 8 seasons long. It's unfair for them to rush it like that, especially for the viewers that have been viewing it since they followed it from season 1.
100%.
But they're different kind of viewers too. I only started watching it when they finished season 6, and I wasn't as attached as opposed to people that watched it from season 1, season 2, season 3. And for them to rush it and finish it like that, it's not the ending that they wanted.
If anyone is to blame, me are the directors. The writer did say, they could have they had so much content to do like 3 or 4 seasons, like you mentioned, and then obviously they, I believe they got a contract to do Star Wars, or is it something else?
Yeah, so basically the guys that created the show had a contract to do the new Star Wars trilogy, which was going to be based on Knights of the Old Republic. And then all of a sudden Netflix said, how about we give you some more money and you do a film for us instead?
Wow. That says a lot about that.
So not only did they bail on Game of Thrones, they bailed on Star Wars as well.
You bail on Star Wars? You know what, I'm pretty glad they didn't do Star Wars because of how they treated Game of Thrones at the end.
Again, it would have been, the first 2 episodes would have been good, and then the last episode would have been utter shit anyway. If they treated the same thing they did with Game of Thrones, that's what would have happened. Well, telling you now.
Well, yeah.
And you look at the first, say, 6 or 7 seasons of Game of Thrones, and you can see the potential for what they could have made had they sort of like stuck to their guns and finished the series the way it should have been.
Yeah.
And you look and think, okay, if they were going to do a Star Wars series, how good would that Star Wars series have been? Thinking about it,
All right, they would have rushed it and left it a lot,
and do the same thing again.
Yeah. So in a way, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad they're not doing Star Wars because I'm a big Star Wars fan. But
regardless, they had their reasons. So what's done is done. You can't undo it.
Exactly. Yeah. What about you, Ant?
What types?
Yeah. What kind of stuff are you into watching?
I'm into a lot of things. I'm into everything apart from Black Sails.
Come on, don't say that.
But I might go into Black Sails.
It's like it's one of those ones that I wouldn't have normally watched. I like those surprise shows, like when it just you watch it, you wouldn't normally watch it, and you're like, oh man, I actually enjoyed that, and then that will make you want to watch that sort of category of things later on. Sorry, Ant, carry on.
No, it's all good. I'm into everything. Again, is what I was saying about. To what Kurd was saying, it's like you have to be in the mood for things. Like I like everything everyone has mentioned, but I have to be in the mood to watch it. Yeah. Like at the moment, Dark Season 3's out, and I fucking love that show. Yeah, but I have not succumbed to watching Season 3 yet because I'm not in the mood to watch it yet. But the thing was, when Season 1 and 2 came out, I was so into it. And then John overhyped Season 2. That's probably why I've not gone into probably not why I've gone into Season 3 just yet. But yeah, I mean, your comedies, everything. I mean, my favorite pick is shows with really, really smart writing in it. Mm-hmm. And I'm referring to stuff like Lost or The Leftovers. If none of you have ever seen The Leftovers, watch it. It's a brilliant show.
Another recommendation.
And I've recommended to Big G many a times, and I don't know why he's not watched something like that.
Oh wow, I'll put that.
There's loads. He's recommended loads, and I'm like, I need to watch.
And then what it was a few things in my top 5. I think I've already mentioned one, which is already in the 5. But yeah, I like the show. So Leftovers, I don't know if everyone's watching, and it's not a spoiler, but the whole premise of the show is that people wake up one day in the world, and 5% of the population has just disappeared. No one knows how, why, they have just gone. And this goes from elderly people to normal adults to children to babies, just gone. And the show is called The Leftovers, but people want answers.
Yeah.
So
you sold it to me.
So as you as an audience, you want to know what's happened. Where have people gone? Why have they disappeared? But that's not what the show's called. The show is called The Leftovers, and it's about the people that are left behind and what they do and how this affects them in the world. Like, they come up with things like new religions and cults and all sorts of things.
Quite deep. Wow.
It's very deep, but it's so brilliantly written because every episode is based on a different person, a different character, and you can't help but feel for them.
Yeah.
Like, I won't go into it because I'm going to go spoiler territory. But you think to yourself, why am I watching this? What is the purpose of this? And in the end, like Lost, like the end of the episode tells you why you are watching that episode. But you never... So it does answer it for you. So what happened was when Leftovers came out, it's season 1, and it struck a chord with everyone. It's like, oh, this is really good watching.
Yeah.
Season 2 came out. Nothing was explained still. Everyone is still, why am I watching this? I need answers. Yeah. So unfortunately, HBO said, right, you can only have one more season, and you have to tell people what's going on because people want answers. People aren't watching anymore because... and that's a shame because it could go on so much longer and people would enjoy it, but people were just like, do you know what, I don't care now. I just want the answer. You know? So it was a shame it got cancelled, but it does answer why everyone disappeared.
It does answer it. So
it does answer it, but not to the very, very end, though.
Okay.
But you are along for the ride. There is so much... Like, the main character, the main protagonist in it, he is an utter douchebag. Like, he's a cop that cheats on his wife, and, you know, he's got the guilt that I think he... I think he had, like... I think he accidentally shot a kid or something and stuff like that, so he's highly depressed and all that. But you have the sense of feeling for him. It's like, even though he's a real piece of shit.
He's a douche.
But yeah, and
you still feel for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Seriously. But yeah, so that's definitely one I recommend. It's It was in the top 5 leftovers, but I've just done a quick edit.
Oh,
It's
no.
not in there now. But I like shows with that smart writing. I love it where something takes you along for the ride, and you think you've sussed it out, but then at the end of the episode, you're like, nope.
Surprise,
motherfucker. So I like those sort of shows. And a lot of shows do that now.
But that's what. Have you seen that show on Netflix, Into the Night? That's
the French one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I saw that.
The aircraft, and they're trying to. They're like moving away from the sun because there's
I can see why
daylight. Daylight kills people.
Okay.
So they're constantly flying at night away from the sun. Right. They land in various countries and they refuel and they take off again. But it's constantly like nighttime. It's very, very clever, and it's all about the relationships between the people that are stuck on the plane and the pilot, and at one point there's like an attempted hijacking, and they have to deal with that, and it's all these little things going on. It's very, 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 very good series.
Sounds like a one-season sort of show, though. Really?
No, it's on the second one.
Is there?
There's a second one.
I can't hear you. Say that again.
There's a second series coming. So
okay,
nice. On the list.
Well, what do you think about TV shows like milking it? Like, do you know?
Yeah. That's the thing, though.
Like,
they do it for a reason.
I want to answer the question because Ant said, "Oh, that leftover you're talking about."
It wasn't milking it though.
No, I'm not saying that particular.
There's other shows.
There has been a couple of shows recently that have milked it and should have ended sooner. But again, it's a case of.
I guess that's a bit a norm with the TV shows, isn't it?
I see what you're saying, because there are a lot of shows I can say to you now. Watch the first and last episode,
because you've said that.
Like Umbrella Academy, for example. What a piece of shit that is.
That's good.
I absolutely. That was so boring. It's like something happened already.
John, did you recommend
that?
it
happened on the first and last episode.
All right, just no one listens to John's
Good
recommendation.
God. And then the fact there's a second season of that, it's just. I tell you now. Watch the first and the last episode. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, I found like certain TV shows like that does that a lot, and it does kind of. Like, I just see it as pointless. I just see like there could be like 4 or 5 seasons, but maybe season 2 wasn't needed, or even say there's one season and maybe there's no needed for like 2 episodes.
As in, it's completely irrelevant to the whole story. Yeah, yes,
because
done that.
Do you ever come across anyone on this table, by the way, a show that was so good on its season 1 that lacked in its season 2? Because a lot of seasons do that.
Can I answer this? I was actually thinking on this on the train here. Prison Break. Classic. Do you know? Like, it's the first one.
I haven't gone back to after season 1.
Well, here's the thing, because I remember borrowing the DVD.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Yeah. It stays at season 1, and it should. Like,
Big G, watch the first and last.
But it's like what I'm saying. It's like there's no like. Obviously, they're trying to milk it, get money out of the show. Well, every TV shows are, but it's just like. It kind of ruins it a little bit.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're going to create the story for 3 seasons, you should have done it from the start, not do it halfway, and then when you start from season 2, don't half it.
Well, yeah, exactly, because you either had faith in what you were producing or you didn't. If you had faith that it was going to last, we're talking 3 seasons here, then you're going to get 3 seasons, and you might even get a 4th and a 5th, because by then the story will have progressed. But if you're going to like do the first series and get everybody kind of hooked on it, and then the second one's like, everyone's like, really? What was the point? Then they obviously didn't have the thought in their mind all along that they were going to drag this out for 3 seasons.
Yeah, because Prison Break wasn't actually a Prison Break. I don't know. I just watched Prison Break 1. Is it?
Yeah.
Was it actually breaking out of the prison after 2 or 3?
The Prison Break season 1 is amazing.
In your defense, well, not kind of your defense, but season 2 was okay, but the ending was shit.
Was really. I agree, and because I started watching it, and I remember like I'm the type of dude also who watches the special features on DVD.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, and the director speaking on it, he said that he's kind of like maybe his what do you call it? The reason why he wanted to do season 2 was like, okay, imagine it's a prison now. America's a prison, so the possibilities are endless. But then that's too much possibility.
So you've escaped prison, but you're still in prison.
Right, exactly. Does that mean we're all in prison, right?
So
yeah.
I see what he's trying to do, but it doesn't
you see,
work.
but it didn't work. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, though, this prison, pretty sweet. But no, I was going to say another series that did that. And I don't know if any of you watched it, but it was massive 10 years ago. And it was called Heroes.
Yes, I remember that.
So Heroes season 1 was phenomenal, and what they did with season 1, I don't think anyone ever noticed, but season 1 of Heroes was the first ever show that had a reaction show after it. So when they had the show, they had a group of celebrities in after the show, and they were, like we're doing now, talking around about what happened in the episode. And I think Walking Dead does it now. It's called the Talking Dead or something.
Talking
Dead now.
Does anyone still watch it?
Well, Walking Dead. Yeah. I don't think so.
I think after season 5 or 6, I was like,
boring.
That was another one that really
it was so gripping at the first few seasons. I loved it.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. But then when it got to season 7, when Negan was in it for like 4 seasons, it's like, just kill the guy already.
Let's get over it. Done. Let's kill him.
Yeah, what were you saying about Heroes?
So do you remember when Heroes came out? Like I said, season 1 was phenomenal. No one can ever get past the whole save the cheerleader, save the world sort of thing.
Yep.
And then season 2 came out. I'll stop there. Season 2 was just... I know at the time they had screenwriters protests or strikes at the time. Yeah. So I get why they... I get why they struggled, but you were so hyped up because you loved season 1, and then 2 came out, and then I believe it did go down here. It went for maybe 1-2 more seasons after that, and then it never got the fan base season 1 ever had. Yeah. And I didn't know if you guys had come across anything similar to that.
I think I've mentioned it to you before. And season 2, Stranger Things, is good. Don't get me wrong, but there's 2 episodes in that I thought
unnecessary.
It was not.
There's a certain episode in season 2. Let's put it that way.
It's just not needed, and I don't think they go back and. But those some of the characters in that episode are in throughout the season as well, I believe. But in season 3, they're not even brought in at all. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they might come in season 4. I don't know. But I just felt that was so unnecessary. Yeah. And
I think I know what
that's
one
I think it goes back to what John was saying though, where they already had this many episodes done, and Netflix were like, "Well, here's a budget, throw in another episode," and they were like, "Well, we've only got 8 written, and you want another one now? You want an extra one on that?"
Is that just kind of...
Is that how they do it? I don't even know that.
Well, have you noticed how season 3 never had 9 episodes either? It was back to 8 episodes again.
Yeah, because surely.
But it was sweet and it was nice. I love season 3.
Yeah,
season 3 is pretty impressive.
That was good.
And I think the writing in that was phenomenal as well.
Yeah,
But here, have you had a show where season 1 is good, but then it tops it up on even season 2?
Oh, it gets better.
Yeah, I can't think of
that show's in someone's top 5. Oh, I think Ant's already mentioned one of those shows.
Everyone's got one in the top 5.
I think he's in everyone's top 5, isn't it? So I agree. I feel if it's going where Coach is,
leave it to the top 5. Then I think.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
does it get better and better?
It's rare that I've seen where season 1 is phenomenal, and then season 2 is like.
Even better.
I think that's what makes a good show, though, isn't it? When they can top people's expectations. I think that's what we were talking about earlier. It's just what can you make better from what you've already started from.
Yeah, they've got a high expectation of what the first season was. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's never going to top. I mean, some shows do. I've got a few that do, but it's massive expectation to beat. So
exactly. Yeah, it's riding high.
Yeah. How about this? Do you guys do you give it, like, you've seen a lot of TV shows, haven't you? Do you give it an episode, like, if you're going to try something new, do you give it an episode, like one episode to watch, and if you don't like it, just leave it there, or do you get a couple of episodes before you carry on?
Well, this is going back to what Big G was saying, because me and my wife love a series on Netflix called The Sinner. And again, it goes back to season 1 being phenomenal.
Yeah.
Whereas season 2 lacked it, but we still watched it.
Yeah.
And then season 3 had come out recently, and it was even worse than season 2, but we carried on because we thought something was going to happen, it was going to pick up, and it didn't. So I think if there is a season 4, we ain't going back to
Sinner's
it.
Season 1 was amazing. 2,
Sinner.
It almost lost me, but I stuck with it because I did like Sinner 1, so I stuck with it, and now I didn't even bother with season 3. But again, I think it was not that it was so bad. It's just I think season 2 was just a bit longed it out a little bit, and then there was a bit went the whole season. That season 1 is just I don't know, for some reason it gripped me, and it was just like I think the topic was pretty good. Whereas 2, it went in more into like a cult sort of thing. But I stuck with it because I did enjoy it. And season 2 after Ant said, "No, don't bother," and I was like, "Okay," because it's a damn shame because it's wicked. It's wicked.
Some shows do that though. The first season grabs you and get to the end of it, and you're like, "Oh my god, I can't wait for season 2." And then season 2 comes along, and the first half of it, shall we say, is better.
That's right.
And then by the time you get to the end of the second season, you're like, seriously, I waited all that time just for this. Exactly. And then the third season will come out, and you're just like, do I bother? Do you know what? I'll chance watching it, and it picks up again. And then again, by the end of it, it's gone downhill again. And you think, oh my god! I've seen shows like that, and it's like, but you get to the point where the next season comes out, and it's like, I don't know, I might watch it, but I'll get around to it. And then 6 months later, you might think, actually, do you know what? I'll watch it now.
It's funny you say that, John, because before, when it was on TV, a lot of these shows looked at ratings. So they must have saw at the end of season 2, ratings were slipping. We need to do something.
Christ, I wish they did that for Walking Dead.
They'd give them a hint or something.
Yeah, I do like quite Walking Dead, but I lost interest.
I may go back to it because people are saying it has kind of picked up a bit, but I have to be in that right frame of mind and try and remember what happened.
Yeah, but with Walking Dead, I think seasons 7 and 8 were the weaker ones.
That's where we stopped. Yeah.
Season 5, 6, and 7.
No.
Good God.
5 and 6 weren't bad. 7 and 8 were dire.
Did any of you guys watch Fear the Walking Dead?
Yeah, I love Fear the Walking Dead.
Season 1 was pretty good of that.
Have you? Where are you up to on that?
I've only seen season 1. Sorry.
No. If you think about it, though, it's filmed differently and it takes place at a different time.
It actually starts before the actual,
like when it actually happens, doesn't it? Yeah.
During and towards the end of the season, actually.
I couldn't stand that kid.
Which one?
The one with the long.
He gets a lot more annoying towards the end. Because I've only just finished season 3. I think there's 5 seasons now. But I do prefer it to Walking Dead a hell of a lot.
I might get back to that as well. So he's still on my list.
Yes. That's on Prime, isn't it?
Yeah,
check it out. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So all right. So moving on. What are you guys currently watching at the moment?
Let me get my schedule out.
I'm actually I'll start if you want. I'm watching The Last Dance. I'm into basketball and NBA.
Oh yes,
I think Goggles watched it.
Yes, the Michael Jordan.
It's about it.
That is good.
Yeah, because I just picked up my basketball like about 5 years ago, and I play it now. And I didn't know MJ too much. I know he was a famous basketball player, but you want to know more about him.
Man, that guy was a god on the court.
Yeah, he was. Absolutely. This guy was famous, man. I didn't realize until I watched how big. Once I watched his show, it goes about.
Well, the guy has his own shoes.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of people have their shoes now. But yeah, it was amazing. You watch it; it goes into detail on how it wasn't just him. It's about his team and how they, dominated. He would have not been that famous without his team. He was phenomenal. He was an amazing player, but his team is what he was in the right team, the right place. And because of his team, they made the kind. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it goes into detail about Michael, MJ, and a few other players.
Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman, and whatnot.
Exactly.
I think Kobe's better though.
Kobe. Oh.
I don't.
Well, that's debatable.
That's debatable. I don't want to go on that.
It's funny you actually said as well. Also, like last a few episodes we were talking about how games like GTA Vice City gets you into the 80s. Something about this show that touches a lot on the 90s, and what the soundtrack in that they throw a lot of like 90s songs, and there's an episode where they're about to win the title and they're showing like one of the last matches against the Utah Jazz, I think, if that's the name, is that right?
Utah Jazz,
like that. Yeah, and it's like they're building up for it, and you hear Fatboy Slim right here, right now, and I was like. Hashtag Brighton.
Well, the thing is, I watched that series and I was just waiting for the Space Jam soundtrack to come in at some point. It never happened. I was kind of gutted. It's a shame, really.
Oh, so you've watched all of it?
Yeah, it's 10 episodes.
Yeah, I'm watching it because I left it because when they're releasing it weekly. This is one of the seasons that they release it weekly. So I think it's finished now. So I left it on season 4 and then wait for it to go up. Yeah, so I think it's finished now. So I'm gonna be watching the next one soon. Yeah,
it's been out for a while. But yeah, it's definitely good. Stick with it.
Definitely.
I'm watching that as well, but I'm currently watching anime One Piece.
Oh yeah, okay.
Thanks to the Corona lockdown, I've managed to watch over 100 episodes.
How are you watching it?
Wow. I'm watching it on Crunchyroll website.
You do know that's got over 900 episodes, so you got a long way to go.
Shit, are you serious?
Yes, and I've watched it since
it's ongoing. It's ongoing.
Serious?
Since day one.
Oh my
when I was 15 years old. And it's still going.
I remember when we started watching it. It was when I broke my collarbone.
Yeah, and we sat down and we just watched.
I was bed rested for like a month or two, and obviously it was on, and we were like, well, what is this? It's like this character with his long arms and what? Yeah. And it was ever since then we've just been watching it, and I've left it at episode 700. So now I've just managed to watch about over 100 episodes.
It's like 20. Is it 20 minutes an episode?
Yeah,
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's 2,000 minutes. That is amazing.
2,000 minutes well spent.
It's good. It's good.
It's amazing.
I must admit, I've never really got into anime.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not that it's not my thing. I mean, I suppose if I started watching it, I might get into it. But I mean, because I do like a lot of Korean stuff, so
Yeah.
you know, I know anime is mainly Japanese,
But still, you'll be surprised. Like anime is not just everyone thinks it's like cartoony thing. It is, but it's got so much different categories in it. You might find an anime that you might like. You know, if you're whatever you're into, like sci-fi or whatever, they have an anime for that, and you'll be surprised. Like, anyone can pick up and watch a certain anime, love it.
Yeah, it's like at the moment I'm watching. I'm starting to watch Dark season 3.
Yeah.
But I'm taking my time with it. I mean, the first 2 I was straight. As soon as it came out, boom, in there.
Season 3, you need to take your time.
And also, like, you need to be in the
So,
mood for it. Like, if you're not in the mood, you do not watch it because you need to think about that.
And I was last night I started watching Dracula on iPlayer,
Oh, okay.
BBC one.
Interesting.
Slightly different take on the Dracula that we know, but
Has it got a
but then that's
female
BBC
Van
for
Helsing
you.
or something?
Yes, they have. I know, but you know, it's the first season. I'm telling you what, it's bloody gory for BBC. So I like it.
I mind a bit of gore.
The thing about John, I think John, I got touched. You do. I quite do admire it because you do watch a lot of things that I wouldn't. Like some of the shows you watch, and I'm like, oh man, I want to watch it.
Makes you kind of wonder if he does actually watch it.
No, you do cover a lot of shows, and it's like for me, like honestly, like I just can't commit myself to watch something that like
Doesn't interest you.
yeah. For you, I don't know how you do it. You watch a lot of variety, and I don't mind that.
I came across a show on Netflix when I first started watching Netflix called Black, and that's a Korean drama. 22 episodes. There's only just the one run of it, so it's 22. But each episode is like an hour and 20 minutes. It's a slog and a half, but the story just grabbed me. You know, I'd watch 2 or 3 episodes a day, and I couldn't wait to watch the next 2 or 3. You know, and before you knew it, I'd watched all 22 of them, and it was a fantastic story. So, like I say, but it's a foreign drama, like we were saying earlier. But watching it with subtitles, subtitles don't bother me.
Exactly.
So. It was a good story. I mean, I think I've recommended it to a couple of you, but to be fair, it is such a long slog. So, I mean, that's fine.
Thank God they didn't drag that one out then.
What are you watching?
In season 2, they up it to 2-hour episodes.
I'm currently watching stuff on Amazon Prime called New Amsterdam. Have you guys heard of?
Yeah, I'm like, that's good. That is.
That's actually really interesting. I mean, this is one of the first actually, series I watched that's actually based in a hospital. I don't really.
I'm not a fan of them either.
Yeah, but this is one of the few that actually gripped me. I mean, not physically, emotionally. Like you do get attached to the characters throughout the whole season, and man, it is a good journey.
It's just emotional, isn't it? Like tears are running down your face. Some episodes,
I like the twist
right?
on the main guy. How straight away. You're like, oh man, really?
Yeah. It's like, Gal, you were telling me about this, weren't you?
That's one of the shows,
I remember,
first ever shows that really got to me. I remember watching it at work, and I can't remember what episode. I can't remember what episode, and I literally had to pause and get up and walk away. And everyone was like, "Are you alright? Are you alright?" I was like, "No, I'm okay." It's nearly brought a tear to my eyes. But maybe about 2-3 episodes done that. It's amazing. Again, like what you said, it's not something I would normally watch. And then, that's brilliant.
It's such a well done show, though.
You know, I didn't like it. You know that.
Really?
I'm the only one who didn't like the show. Really? I just didn't. I don't know. You said it's like a feel good, and I was like, oh, I don't know.
I wouldn't say it.
I know it's not a feel good, but what did you? You told me. You gave me a certain word.
It's like light-hearted. Is it light-hearted?
It's not for the
It's
light.
not
I would say no.
It is kind of brutal in a way, but it is. What I meant when I said up.
He can't, like, I remember the first episode. He comes in and he changes the whole lot. Yeah, he changes his whole way, and he cares about making sure everything's perfect. And I was just like, is this realistic? My first, is this someone actually going to do that?
It's nice to feel your doctors feel like that, but let's face it, it's all about the money.
Exactly, yeah. And I was like telling you, that's exactly what I said. It's not realistic, yeah? End of the day, it's all about this, man. So everyone knows the money. So that's what I think, that's just that part there. I
think the highlight of the show, I don't know if the rest of you guys see it, is pretty much how bad their healthcare system is.
Yeah.
Like, people won't touch you without insurance is insane.
That's the worst.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, it's probably like, American listeners who listen to this as well. They would touch on that. Like,
absolutely.
It's different. Like, we have to take granted. I mean, that's a whole little thing. Like, the healthcare system we have in this country. But it makes you see that side of things.
Yeah.
It's if there is a kid who's walking through and, like they have something, it's like a 5-year-old and you can't treat them because they don't have insurance. I mean, that's deep, something else. So, New Amsterdam's great.
Yeah, man. I can't get enough of it. I'm still in the middle of season 2. And it's just, it's an amazing show. I can't get enough of it.
So you said you finished season 2?
In the middle of it, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still watching it. I've got to make my way through the show. For my list.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's good. Fantastic. What was the question again? Sorry.
What you're watching at the moment?
Yeah, right now. Fantastic. There's so many things that I've just literally finished and kind of watching. Finished Dark.
Which one?
Hunters, Season 3. Yeah.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Might have to talk about that later, maybe.
Is there a season 4? Is it finished?
No, okay. No, it's anything. It's a good question, though. No, it's a very
John's
good
already
question.
seen it, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. Again, that's. I mean, when that ended,
did you get a headache after in the show? Because I'm actually kind of watching that as well.
I was no joke. There was one episode where I actually took a paracetamol. It was genuinely like I was like, my head hurts.
Like, seeing as your pharmacist, was it a special paracetamol?
You didn't take a normal
special
blue pill.
It does.
Well, you did say you've been to Thailand recently. Bit of smuggle there.
Yeah,
that one you have to focus on. I think what you're doing right now. You got to be in the mood for that.
It's definitely one of those shows you can't send a text and be like, look back up on the screen and it's
this
what
one
just happened?
Yeah.
What year is this now?
Exactly.
This one, literally, you have to be on point because you're gonna be like, who is this?
Yeah, who's this? What's going on?
Oh my god!
Who's this?
As if it wasn't as complicated as it was.
Yes, exactly. It's an absolute.
Season 3 is a mindfuck.
Yeah, definitely,
and it's amazing.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, talking about going back to the schedule. So on Mondays is Peaky Blinders night.
Oh my god, you actually! Oh my god, he's got a planner and schedule.
Wow.
Tuesdays Hunters finish now, so I'm gonna have to find something new for that. Wednesday's New Amsterdam night. Middle of the week, so you got to get a bit emotional.
I can't do that, man. I cannot live by a schedule like that. You are so organised.
I get that. I used to be like that, but that was when.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
And now there's so many there's so much to choose from. I can watch anything I want whenever I want.
Sure.
So the structure for me is gone now.
It's
because it's like I used to say to Ant before. I used to download the TV shows from America. That was
what?
Yeah. I was that naughty person, or one of them. But that was before Netflix and Amazon sort of took off over here. Because if I wanted to watch that show, I didn't want to be waiting 6 months or a year for it to come out here in the UK. If it came out in America or Canada, I was downloading it, so I was watching it the next day.
Yes.
But then with Netflix and Amazon now, there's so much to watch while you're waiting for that. And the difference between a show coming out in America and coming out in the UK now is maybe a month, maybe not even that. Sometimes it's the same.
Yeah, that's right.
So the structure's gone for me now.
Exactly, it's kind of whatever's there. You like it, like you said. Yeah, so that's that. And then Thursdays, I've got this weird thing. Many of you might know about this. I love my cooking/travel shows. So I'm watching this thing on Netflix called Somebody Feed Phil. It's like this funny kind of like food show/travel show. But it's really good because I'm a traveler, like some of you know. So I love traveling. So I go to food. I make a list of restaurants I want to go check out. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, John's giving me a thumbs up. Yeah, it's not just me. Yeah, and then Friday, Saturday, Sundays are free for all. So that's kind of whatever you guys have recommended. I'll just go watch.
If you like your food stuff on Netflix, do you watch Street Food?
Yes,
Street Food's really good.
It's amazing. In fact, I follow the producer on Instagram, and he's done something called his main show is Chef's Table, and again, that's beautiful because that's a show.
That's Sunny. The guy called is his name Sonny?
Sonny something. I
Yeah,
think
he
so.
kind of lives
Yeah.
out in Korea or somewhere like that, doesn't he? He
Yeah.
lives out there.
Exactly.
He got some amazing food on them shows.
Please tell me your surname's Delight.
Amazing drink.
Amazing.
I missed
That's a
those.
90s thing. Yeah.
Do they still do that?
It's,
Sonny D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've changed. I remember they changed the formula. Wasn't
changed the
it?
bottle shape,
I think
for
it
sure.
was one of those ones that had way too much sugar.
Yeah.
in it, so they took it off the shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
But if it is here, if it is still around, it's not the same.
No.
Whenever Mum goes Iceland, I was like, Sunny D, please.
Sunny D.
Sunny
Yeah.
D. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's good. And one of the shows, Chef's Table, is based. Long story short, it's a take on biographies. There's a Michelin star restaurant. It talks about the chef's story. You know,
Yep.
so how they got to that level, and it's very again emotional. It's like, how did this guy start off with nothing and he ends up being the biggest chef in Asia or whatever? And that's quite inspiring. I watched that.
That's
and
pretty
I just
cool,
like,
yeah.
makes you think if they can do it, I can do it too. That kind of thing. But
Absolutely,
that's
yeah.
me. Yeah.
So nice. Well, should have recommended that. You're telling us before.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, but you should have told us long time
Put it on your list.
I still can't believe you watched
John's on his
one
phone
for
putting
each
on his
day.
list now.
Do you actually have a planner? Like
That's
Monday this,
annoying.
I
9
try.
o'clock shower,
Yeah.
12 o'clock masturbation.
It's probably on like a blackboard or something at home.
Yeah, exactly. Like written at 9 o'clock. Yeah, precise time, because he does come on online when you play Xbox. He comes on at a specific time, plays a certain game for 1 hour, and he has to
Shoots
go
off at
yeah,
specific
he's
times.
Scheduled. Yeah.
like
yeah.
proper
I've known you this
organised.
long. I didn't know this. It's news to me.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, scheduled.
Uh, and I suppose that goes round to me. So I'm currently watching Vikings at the moment. Vikings is one of those shows where it had the first 2 seasons had come out, and then I couldn't be bothered to wait for season 3. To be honest, I went on and moved on to other things. Obviously, come back to it recently, being in lockdown and stuff, and everyone's probably going to hate me for saying this, but I prefer it to Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Wow.
And please.
No, I
can't
get
believe
you.
you said
I
that.
get you. I'm on season 5 at the moment, and to
So
be
much
honest,
stuff.
there's not been anything bad so far.
Yeah, so much stuff has gone on, and every episode something happens. Like in Game of Thrones, like when the main person was getting killed off, you kind of knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas in Vikings, it just happens, and you're like, "Nah, this is a dream. This is a someone's having an illusion or something." Oh shit! They are. Wake up!
What season you on?
I'm at the end of season 5.
Okay, yeah, I'm on season.
I can't believe you just compared that to Game of Thrones. And you
No,
say
but it's
better,
funny you
and-
say that because I remember watching it and people.
Well, you know where Game of Thrones, you had people betraying one another, and
Yeah.
backstabbing one another, and he's the son of this and he's the son of
Yeah,
that.
that's amazing,
Whereas Vikings, double that.
Double that.
Double that. There's so much stuff going on because it's in other countries as well. It's not just in Norway. That They
Yeah.
go to France, they go to England and whatnot.
Wow.
I think at one point they even try to go. They go to Sicily at one point.
But do they have dragons?
No,
Is
that's
that-
the
they
thing.
don't-
That's the thing. They don't need
what I'm
it.
saying.
It doesn't
We don't
need
need
it.
Have
that.
dragons
We need
on their
dragons,
boats.
It doesn't need it. I'm happy.
We need Cersei.
They have so many.
Yeah.
There are so many battles in these seasons. Whereas you talk about Game of Thrones, and all you can mention is what Battle of the Bastards and Battle of King's Landing. So what?
Yeah.
Two out of how many seasons? 8.
Yeah.
Whereas Vikings has one like every 3 episodes.
Yeah, but
It's
like drama as well. How's the drama? Like the stuff that's happening.
it's way
all that.
better, dude.
Serious.
Seriously, honestly.
Why have I not even heard? I mean, you told me, Gareth told me about it, but I
The
didn't realize.
the first 2 seasons are because they were produced by the History Channel.
Yeah.
It's not very TV-esque.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've got to watch the next episode. Like, if you go, like, watch the first 2 seasons, but when you get into season 3,
Yeah.
that's when it really kicks off. And and that's why I never went back to it, because I was like, nothing's really happening.
The thing is, with the first 2 seasons of Vikings, it's very historically accurate.
yeah.
And so that, even up to season 5, but there seems to be they've fleshed out the story more for seasons 3, 4, and 5. So it's not so stuck in itself. Whereas the first 2, it was like it had to be historically accurate. Whereas that's not necessarily the case with the rest of it. But as a series, it is amazing. I don't think there's a bad one in any of it.
My only issue with Vikings is that stuff just jumps ahead, and you have to try and figure out. like for 1 second, his wife will say she's pregnant with his child, and then the next thing she's given, they have a child right there. So 9 months has gone now. But it doesn't tell you that. That was my only issue with it. So you kind of have to keep up with.
They don't even tell you that. They just
so like I said, she'll say, "I'm with your child," and then a battle scene will happen or something, and the next scene she's holding the child in her hand. You're like, oh shit, okay. So
does it just carry on from that? So just
it kind of does it a couple of times, but it's not. I think in season 4, or is it the end of season 4, the main guy has kids, and then beginning of season 5 or something, they're all grown up, and you're like, oh, a lot of time has passed, like 12 years or so has passed, and you kind of have to like
figure out.
No, not quite figure it out, but you're like, oh, you could have you kind of come forward a bit. Really, it's like you could have done a bit more instead of jumping ahead. Yeah. Whereas that was my only gripe with it. But I'm really enjoying it at the moment. I think there's a half of season 6, and they're doing the second half, but obviously it's going to be delayed with what's going on in the world at the moment. So I recommend it.
Wow, I got a question for you. Ian. If Game of Thrones didn't end so badly as it did, would you rate Vikings?
No, I think I would still rate Vikings better.
Because it's funny you said it, because when I was watching Vikings, I was watching Game of Thrones together, and I enjoyed it. I left it at season 4, just before, I think before they go into France, or I can't remember. And I remember when I'm watching it, people are, you're watching Vikings? That's a rip-off of Game of Thrones, isn't it? And now you're saying the other way around.
I'll give you an example. So I've been watching it recently in my spare time, and my wife's watching her own show in her spare time, and she saw me watching it and said, "Oh, what's this?" And I said, "Oh, it's Vikings." She's like, "Oh, it looks very Game of Thrones-esque," and I said, "No, it's not really, but I think I kind of prefer it." So she said, "What's it about?" And I told her, and then I told her this was happening, and that person's betrayed her, that person's gone and married someone else, and that one's stabbing that person in the back, and she's like, "Oh my god, all this is happening in just one season." Wow. And I was like, "Hun, that's one episode."
Yeah, you see, like I agree with you. I found, to me, Game of Thrones, good and all as it was, except for the last bit, obviously. It was like a gorier version of Lord of the Rings, whereas Vikings is, in a sense, more real. So the story feels real, if that's a word, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Even
real. More real, yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, like I say, I mean, I that's how I saw Game of Thrones. I enjoyed it, most of it. But yeah, it was like a gorier version of Lord of the Rings, really, with dragons and spells and all that sort of thing. Yeah, backstabbing and all that. But like I say, you got that in Vikings as well. But in a sense, it's kind of done better.
Yeah, because it's real as well.
Yeah, it's more real. Like I said, there's no spells, there's no dragons in it. It's just, it's better, I think, anyway.
Yeah. My cup of tea, honey.
Did they have Cersei though?
Or Khaleesi.
Lagatha.
Oh yeah. So I guess the last question before we go into our top 5 is, guys, are you looking forward to any TV shows or any seasons coming up? If so, what are they?
The thing is, I think they're probably going to be everyone's top 5 then if they're waiting for the next season, right?
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah.
Alright, someone else go first.
Yeah, for example,
because
like,
a lot of my shows, I think literally one of mine and my top 5 is still running. The rest are finished.
Okay, all right.
So,
that's what we were saying, right? Yeah, Same, yeah.
Well, one of them's in mine.
Shall I go first, or do you want to go?
Yeah,
first?
you go first. I'll tell you mine. It's in my top 5 anyway.
Right. So there's 4. So there's 3 new series I'm looking for, and 1 new season I'm looking for.
Okay.
So first is going to be, even though I didn't like the second one, the HBO Last of Us TV series.
Yes.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Amazon's Lord of the Rings TV series.
Hell
Looking forward
yeah.
to that. And I think, sorry, Go
for me.
Amazon's Fallout series.
Yes, I'm so happy that you said that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're working on it.
They're working on it.
And then obviously the
happening.
season I'm looking forward to is Stranger Things season 4.
Yeah, that's
Pretty much that's all of us.
Yeah, I think everyone's on that. Yeah,
Definitely.
Anyone else?
I'm with you on the Fallout series. I'm so into that because I love the PC games. But I'm looking forward to the next season of Into the Night because I did enjoy the first one. And I'm interested in the Lord of the Rings show. I think it'll be done right. So I've got high hopes for that one. So yeah.
I'm just going to call it now. Into the Night. Watch the first and the last.
No, you need to watch it.
I am actually looking forward to Mandalorian.
Season 2.
What, season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shout.
Yeah, I thought Mandalorian 1 was
That
brilliant.
is the way.
Yeah. I love
good, John.
I got a little surprise until it arrives. Next episode, I'll show you. Well, I can't show the viewers, but I'll show you a little surprise for you.
Cool.
Yeah, that one.
And he gets Teenage Yoda.
No.
Teenage Yoda.
I fell for, what was that little parody? They did like a parody reveal for the season 2, and they had Yoda like. I can't remember who did it. I'll find out later.
Moving on.
Yeah, Mandalorian. Obviously, you touched up on most of them. Lord of the Rings, Fallout. Yeah, that's.
There was one more I was going to mention, but I'm not actually sure they're going to do it now because producers and directors keep flopping out. But Channel 4 did a TV series. It's one of my favorites. It's in the top 10, not my top 5. But they did a TV series called Utopia, and they keep telling you to watch it, and you still haven't, have you?
I think you mentioned it.
But they keep. So basically, the David Fincher, who directed Seven, Alien 3, Fight Club, Panic Room, has always said he wanted to do a American version of it.
Okay.
But producers keep flopping out. I think he's dropping out eventually, so I'm not sure if the project is going ahead. But that would have been something I was looking forward to because it is a very good season. If you watch it now, especially what's going on in the world, you can relate to it now.
Yeah, the problem is it's like a curse on some of these shows, though, isn't it? When they decide to do an American version of it, it rarely works.
Yeah,
I mean,
No, absolutely, yeah.
The Office worked in America. In fact, it was probably better than the English version.
100%.
But like the In-Betweeners was rubbish, and there's quite a few of them. They're just not as good.
it didn't. I think is the difference because British humor is so different from American humor. That's one of the things, and yeah, I'm so for British humor.
Sorry, but you got to carry on.
Also, Witcher.
Oh yeah, season 2. Toss a coin to that season.
I was when that originally came out. I was nervous. Because I'm a bit, me and you are big. Well, all of us here are big. Witcher
Recently,
fans. And I was a bit, and even watching some of the episodes, I was like, oh no. But it was alright. I thought it wasn't like, oh my god, it was amazing. I thought it was good.
It was good enough.
Yeah, good enough to
Apparently, it's just going to progress. It's going to go into the games and stuff. So.
Yeah,
It can only get better.
Yeah, so that one's one.
I have to admit that I wasn't convinced with Henry Cavill
Yeah,
to be.
the thing is, they always when the first images came out, I was like, why is the symbol different? Why hasn't he got 2 swords? And I was like, don't know where this is going, but it was all right. You guys can check it out; it's really good.
Yeah, but the problem is, though is with The Witcher is you play the game.
Yeah,
and then you get expectations.
exactly. It's not.
And they always said that it was not going to be like the games.
Yeah.
It was going to have similarities, but that was about it. So that's probably where you're expecting the 2 swords. In season 2, he may well have a second sword.
Yeah,
But they're building up to it.
exactly.
Actually, I remember they did say then they're basing it off the books, not the game.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's completely
might be.
different.
But I reckon season 2 is going to be amazing.
Yeah. My one is, I don't know if anyone's seen it, maybe Ant or Gal has, probably Mindhunters.
Oh yeah,
Love that show.
They've cancelled, haven't they?
That's so that's what I'm actually,
That's right, they've
what-
cancelled, yeah.
I didn't know that's actually,
They put it. Well, Netflix calls it permanent hold at the moment, but it pretty much is
is there any
cancelled.
reason? Because I wasn't sure, I just heard something.
Yeah, I know. Do you know the reason, Ant?
Well, the rumor was the ratings for season 2 didn't do very well, but
Yeah.
but
Are you kidding?
Netflix are like that. If you look at a lot of their stuff, nothing really goes further than maybe 3 seasons, 2 to 3 seasons.
I'm gutted right now.
Yeah, it's
I didn't
depressing.
know that.
But yeah, if you look it up, it's on permanent hold. It's not official.
Don't
but
make me sad.
It's going to be
I'm
cancelled.
actually sad now.
Yeah.
I watched that religiously.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so.
But season 2 was pretty good. What was wrong with that?
Season 1.
Season 2.
Yeah, but this is what I'm going back to when I said about Leftovers. If it's not gripping audiences,
Yeah.
because you admit season 2 was gripping, but you was still waiting for something to happen as well.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, don't fucking shit because nothing really
You can
happened."
see it's fucking building in the background. Yeah. Bloody hell, the audiences, man. Gotta be patient.
So sorry about that. So that doesn't count. Anything
But
else?
this is the,
that was it.
the
Apart
thing
from another
with-
one. Yeah, go on.
Sorry, go on.
No, go.
But this is the thing with Mindhunters, because it's based on fact.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to make a TV show that is based on fact and then make it interesting.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is about serial killers.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's mainly it's meant to be about the birth of, like, not forensic science, but
Is it like that?
working out
Yeah.
like I said, mind hunters working out what makes serial killers tick. To
Behavioural.
try,
Exactly.
yeah, it's a behavioural thing.
Yeah.
And when you look at it from that kind of an aspect, for me, it works because I've read so much about all of this. I've got that subject in the back of my head, but I love the fact that that guy in the background,
Yeah,
with the
he sees-
family.
Yeah.
Now
that's
I already know who he becomes.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
don't
what I want. I'm
Yeah, you
so
wanna-
desperate for the next season because I want because he's going to emerge.
Yeah.
In the next
He's gonna-
season.
yeah.
And he is a very, very famous serial killer in America. He's a biggie.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
I said, it's just like leftovers. They're
And it was-
kind of
that was
like
the way it kind of
building up.
ended. One part of the end was to think, oh my god, we're gonna see him next season. Now.
So this is an exclusive on the M.T.V.B. podcast, but I'm going to eat my own words now. We've just had 2 days ago. This popped up. They have a interview with the producers of Mindhunters.
Drum roll, please.
Do you have a release date for any possible release dates for the show Mindhunter Season 3? No official announcement has been made regarding the release date of the show's third season, but speculations are being made it might arrive in August 2021.
Thank you. At least they're working. It did not say it's
So
been
it was
cancelled.
so it was on hold. But when people usually say permanent hold, that kind of does say
Yeah, but
cancelled.
that's
generally
dude. That
upset.
show is good.
that
That
makes
show.
sense,
I'll
yeah.
go more into it in my top five, but
Because
it's like
what is it David Finch who directed that?
He's a producer and
the
he
producer.
directs a few episodes of that as well. Yeah.
Because he said, like, I remember reading that, he was saying that he wanted to give the actors a chance to do other projects. I think that's what it was. So the guy who plays whoever it is, the two guys,
Agent Holden and
Agent
whatnot.
Holden,
yeah. So I mean, that's really generous of him. But God's sake, David, we're all waiting for you here.
yeah, I'm waiting for you.
Well, Little G is anyway.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love that
as
show.
well, yeah. I should have mentioned it on my one.
Kurge.
Well, I'm going to add that to my list. I'm gonna
Yeah,
take
we're
that
watching
too.
that
Yeah,
together,
we were
yeah.
watching it together. So Mindhunter is definitely there. Other one I'm waiting for, I'm sure all of you are. Well, they kind of didn't finish season 4 properly. Was Rick and Morty?
oh yeah.
Okay,
Carry on
yeah.
with that,
Yeah.
more episodes for that. And I'm a bit of a.
I was kind of gutted season 4 was like
Yeah.
6 episodes. That was a bit of a downer, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if they
Was it
could've-
6?
Yeah,
was
6
Five
episodes.
episodes.
5, sorry.
Yeah, they should have taken the time to finish it properly. I mean, all
absolutely.
those episodes were still good.
I thought
but
I thought there's still 5 more to come. Is that not the case?
No.
no,
Well, they announced they were going to do 70 episodes, but I don't know if that's 70 spread over many seasons.
that was back in season 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
When they released it on Netflix, I was under the impression
Or
5.
maybe they have enough storylines for 70 episodes. I'm not official on that, but
Oh, so that's it. Season 4. That's it.
no, there'll be season 5, 6, 7, whatnot.
No, as in
episode
for season
wise.
4. Is it?
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah,
I was under the impression there was going to be another 5 because they didn't quite finish it.
I hope so. Let's put it that way.
It was
that's
sad
annoying.
watching
It's pretty
those.
annoying they didn't put it on Netflix straight away. They put it on released
That's
on
good. Just
Channel 4.
Yeah, Channel 4 bought the rights. That's why.
Well, they eventually released it on Netflix now.
No, they
didn't
will. So they'll have it on Channel 4 for a bit, and then they'll give it to Netflix. Because if
Yeah,
people are
that's
desperate to watch it, they'll watch it there first, won't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's one of the shows, and I'm a bit of a Power fan. I don't know if everybody else.
Can't say. So many people at work talk about it, but I've never watched it.
It's a typical drug dealing, series kind of
Gangsters.
thing. Gangster
It's all
movie,
right.
yeah,
I reckon our good friend Jay.
Oh, yeah.
me and him talk
He
about
does
it a
love
lot.
the gang stuff. Does he? Please tell me.
He does.
Jay, if you're listening, you're such a loser.
He's a gangster.
I want to be a gangster.
Just like that.
massive.
I'm joking, Jay. I love you, boy.
We love you, Jay.
No, we don't.
I don't.
Wish you could be here.
Hurry up and be on an episode, Jay. Anyway, go cool. Moving on.
Interesting. Everything that they all said. I think, and yeah, I'm so glad you said Fallout. I think that show definitely deserved. That game definitely deserved the show.
But how surprised were you when they announced it?
Absolutely surprised. I mean, it's one of those things where in the background you pray when you're playing the game. Please make this into a TV show, and it's actually happening. So you got to pinch yourself almost. you know, and that's amazing. What I love is that it's, you know, one of those things where the game Bethesda are actually working with HBO to produce. That's fantastic. That's what you want to hear. Yeah.
All fairness, people behind Westworld and HBO, and you know, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be. I know we're all going to be watching that. So, the other one. In fact, you guys might not remember this. I saw this through a thread on your Facebook, Gal, and also the Jays, and it was something that you sent Anthony to the guys before we properly all met and stuff. And it's a movie by the well-known Gareth Edwards called Monsters. His first movie. Yes. They're making that into a TV show. And I remember watching that and thinking, I absolutely loved that movie because it was an indie movie. I mean, the guy just shot the special effects like in his bathroom at home. Like he took like a model, like, you know, what do you call it? Those airplanes. There's a name for that. Airfix models.
Did the effects on his like MacBook Pro or something?
Yeah, that's right. And I remember watching that movie and thinking, just the use of, you know, like putting signs and stuff like that to make you look like you're in a South American country. Just the story was amazing. And when I thought, wow, that's getting made into a TV show, that's, you know, I'm looking forward to that. You know, it's kind of showing what happens after the world is used to aliens invading, you know, and these creatures. It's not really like aliens like battling humans, but it's like these organisms that are growing, you know, and we're used to that. Yeah, and you see like murals on like the walls and stuff like that. It's just genius. Like, it's
Monsters. There's 2 films, isn't it?
It's one. They did make a sequel, but again, that wasn't Gareth Edwards.
No, it was kind of like the straight to DVD sort of type film, wasn't it?
So
it wasn't
annoying.
very...
Yeah, absolutely. No, I watched that and I thought it's just taken the essence out of it. You know, it's had such a great.
I remember you loved that. It was pretty good.
That's good. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. And next season of Chef's Table for those who are into that. Probably just me.
Oh, what?
Of what? Chef's Table?
Oh, Chef's Table. I thought you said Sheriff's Table. You said that so fast. I was like, what's Sheriff's Table? That sounds like some sort of cop drama.
Imagine they did a Red Dead TV show. Yeah. Oh, there's kind of Westworld and
Deadwood.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, isn't it?
Just one quick one. Obviously, Metal Gear has been made into a film, but they haven't announced anything. But they are doing an animated series.
Metal Gear.
No. Yeah. Is there one episode you can just not get Metal Gear? It's like we're literally talking TV, and you've got to bring the video game into it.
Series.
I did mention Last of Us, so it's kind of my fault. Really.
He's a Metal Gear fanboy. Yeah, you guys will get used to that as you're watching the episodes.
Right, so is everyone ready for their top 5?
Bring it on, baby. Bring it on.
It's time for a top 5.
So these are going to be our top 5 TV shows of all time. Currently, so the rules are it could be currently still going at the moment, and it can also be one that's finished or quite an old TV series. Literally, if it's been on TV, it's allowed to go on your list. All right, so we'll go around the table. So shall we start with me again and just go around again?
Yeah.
Right, so my number 5. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. I think I've mentioned it to Big G or John before, and it's a show called Nip Tuck.
Oh,
I don't know if anyone's heard of that or not.
No,
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
It's about plastic surgery.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. Even though it sounds so basic, but it was probably the first TV series I ever binge watched. So I was going out with my wife. We weren't married or anything. We were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. And her friend had let us borrow the first DVD box set at the time, which is how you binge watch back in the day, was DVD box sets. And I was like, a TV show about plastic surgery? That doesn't sound interesting at all.
Right.
But damn, is it a really good show. So it's literally just about 2 plastic surgery guys who run their own business. 2 doctors. One's pretty much a family person. He has a wife, kids, whatnot, and the other doctor is a bit of a playboy. He's a bit of a God's gift to ladies sort of thing. 2 totally different characters. And you thought, how can these guys run a plastic surgery together? But every episode starts with them in their interview consultation room. And they always say, tell me what you don't like about yourself. And obviously they're talking to the patient. Yeah. And some of the stuff patients come up with is ridiculous. Like, I want my testicles to look bigger. And I want all this sort of, I want my lips to go on my lips, if you get what I mean, sort of thing. And you're like, do people actually do this? And like, some of it's like a real thing. And it's quite insightful to like, do people do this to themselves? And, is this a thing? And, but also at the same time, you've got drama, you've got crime, and there's like a part where they get held up by a drug dealer who wants them to transport their drugs through women's breast implants and stuff. So it's very in deep, and it's very how do I say? It's very dark, because I think when it gets to season 2, there's like it kind of goes into like a murder mystery case where there's a killer called the Carpenter, and like the whole of season 3 is trying to figure out who this killer is, sort of thing. It does kind of go off track a bit, but it keeps you going. And I can't highly recommend it enough. It has to be in the top 5.
Is it more like a thriller then?
It's a bit of everything. It's a bit of drama, bits of comedy. It's highly, it definitely is in the thriller factor, but it has a bit of everything.
Yeah.
And it has a bit of realistic events put to it as well, and stuff like that. Just give it a go. I can't recommend it. I don't know if it is available anywhere, because I think it is quite hard to find, but we've got, if anyone wants to watch it, I've got the whole seasons. Wow. There's 6 seasons in total, and I highly recommend it. Just watch season 1 and then get back to me.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Because there's so much other stuff that I want to say, but I don't know if I can say it on the show. It's so good. It's like, I might say one thing where one of the doctor's kids goes out with a woman who used to be a bloke. But when he has sex with her, he can't tell the difference. It's just like, but it's stuff like that. It's ridiculous, but there's more to it, you know. So I totally recommend it. So have you ever heard it again? Nip Tuck. Give it a go.
Nip Tuck. Yeah, you have to do that. Yeah, well, for me, again, tough, top 5. Wow. Okay, and this one kind of made its way, and I had to kind of push it down a bit. I feel bad for doing that, but it's a show we've mentioned earlier, and I'm going to touch on it briefly, because I'm sure you guys are going to. It's probably on your top 5 as well, but it is Dark with Netflix.
Yeah.
So
at
to
5?
touch on, this is the thing. It was a tough call, and because we're going back in time now for all the TV shows I've watched throughout my life, right? So but the reason why I'll tell you the story about Dark, which is quite interesting, and I know that is a little thing here where I know Ant would tell Gal something at work to watch it. Gal would watch it, and he would recommend it to me. So it was Christmas Day, 2019. And Christmas Day is supposed to be such an amazing day, and it was, but it wasn't that great. Like, I wasn't feeling that Christmas spirit. Is it? Yeah. So,
Bar humbug.
Bar humbug, yeah. And I don't know. And then all of a sudden, Gal rings me on the phone. I thought, this guy never rings on the phone. I was like, shit, something's happened on Christmas Day. And he rings me up and he's like,
so I'm going to bring the pharmacist.
I was like, I'm not working. It's my only day off. Please.
Prescribe me something on Christmas Day.
And he rang and he's like, there's a new show that I'm watching. It's called Dark. And I was like,
did he actually say it like that?
Yeah, no, exactly. No Merry Christmas. Literally, you have to watch a show called Dark.
So it was like, hello?
Yeah.
And then you're like,
yeah, hi.
You got to watch Dark. And I cut the phone there. Hang on.
So could they get any worse?
It rings back and goes, by the way, it's on Netflix.
And you rang, right, Gal, and you're like, you have to watch this show. I'm not going to say anything else. You have to watch it. It's been recommended to me, and you have to watch it. So I watched it. Man, I don't know what it is about. It's dark, right? It's a fair say. Like it's how do you? It's a time travel. Yeah, it's like a time travel show, and that's basically the premise of it. But it takes place in this, this German city called Winden. Again, being a German show, it's at first you think,
Winden, that was it. I can remember this.
Yeah, and it's a real city, right? Like,
I'm guessing.
Yeah. So that's it. So you're learning as the episode season 1 goes on. You're learning about the characters and stuff, and plays heavily on like the family tree line between people and how everyone's connected in relationships.
You don't realise it's time travel at first.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't realise at first. Exactly. And as the episode goes on, oh my god! And it's like I remember every night, like during that Christmas thing, like it'll be Boxing Day, and I'll be texting, episode 2, this. Next thing you know, we make a WhatsApp group, and we're showing, putting diagrams of
discussions. We had debates on all this and that. No, it's amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah. And then eventually, I think we all got around to watching it. So. And it was just absolutely mind blowing. I've never seen anything like that. Absolutely,
do you know why I called you that day? Because I just let the audience know.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Goku used to call me with his TV guides on Christmas Day or during Christmas week, and he liked his TV guides.
Yeah.
Any black guy on Monday, you need to watch this film. At this time. Oh my god, you need to check this show out.
True story.
So I thought
because it was like Radio Times, wasn't it? And they'll have the Christmas special, and that was like 2 weeks, and that was the only time I'd ever buy the.
He
Radio
would do this
Times
every year, and I'm like, this guy's a loser. No, but I appreciate that. So that's why I thought, you know what, let me repay him.
Yeah,
they called you up.
That's
and
nice. That means a lot.
That made your top 5.
Oh, that made my top 5.
Proud of that.
You made that show in the top 5. So yeah, exactly. So when that goes around, because I know that's going to be in your top 5s, then you guys can just.
I'm going to have my fill on.
Not in mine, mate.
It's not in your. Okay.
I will slap anyone if it's not in the top 5.
It didn't make the cut.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely in the top 10, but not my 5.
What? Before you carry on, did you
Yes.
watch that in subtitle? Did you watch it in English or
Okay.
dubbed? If you watch it
I
in
watched
dubbed,
it in German.
yeah, because
But then it got to a point when I really wanted to know, and they do that on purpose.
Right, so when I watched season 1, okay.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me.
You remember, I watched season 1 and I watched it on my phone. So I think when you watch it on an app, it goes straight into dub.
Yes,
And
it does. Yeah.
What's the kid with the yellow coat called? Jonas.
Jonas. Yeah.
Right, so season 1 opens with him waking up, and then he's like, and he's and obviously I'm waiting for this German accent or to come on into the subtitles, and all of a sudden an Australian goes, "Dad, the power's being cut again." And it was like, you put an Australian dub on the German show. It really doesn't suit the character. So I had to obviously put the subtitles on straight away. It was just so funny. I was not expecting that at all.
Some people have turned it off there, but I'm glad you stuck.
I stuck with it. I clearly knew it was on dub, so I was like...
I hate dubbing. You have to watch the show in its original language.
As intended.
100%.
Exactly, because it's either a German show or a Korean show or whatever.
Yeah.
But so for me, I have to have the subtitles. I've tried the dubbing. I cannot. I
do it.
hate.
no, you can't.
Hate,
Yeah.
it just doesn't work.
Yeah, you were watching Dark with Jay's like when it came out. And I was just like, no, I can't do that. It was so bad.
Would you watch a Korean film in...
No, I cannot do it. No, because I watch a lot of anime as well. I don't do dub. I do not do dub. I cannot stand it.
Even in games, we
in games, like if they got the authentic Japanese language or any language, I'll listen in there. I wouldn't have it.
It just doesn't sound right. I don't know what it is. Like I said, Little G was pointing out, when Jay, I watched it multiple times, and I watched it with Jay as well. And obviously he doesn't like, so he can do subtitles, but for some reason he couldn't do it with the Dark, because obviously I can't understand it because it is very sophisticated as it is. So you got to focus on that as well as I get that.
I'm with him.
And when he was watching the first 2 episodes, and we're like, this is rubbish. I can't do this because it's just
so
this
used to
doesn't
watching
sound
it.
natural, and then it's just
After
so
watching an
annoying.
episode with him, I rewatched it when he went home.
Yeah, it was quite bad. I'm actually disappointed that he does that. So
No, but you can understand where he's coming from, though. You can understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
It is a lot to take in, that show,
Definitely.
especially that show. Well,
Yes. And I know, and you haven't seen season 3. I'm not going to spoil it for you. And man,
John will.
take your time, man. No, I'm glad.
I haven't
Very,
watched season
very
3
good.
yet.
Yeah, it's I highly recommend it. Yeah.
Courage, what's your
So,
number
go on,
5?
I know you're going to hate me for this, Ant, but sorry I had to choose this over Vikings. It's got to be Game of Thrones.
That's fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
It's your list, man.
I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. Sorry, I couldn't put it any higher.
But don't get me wrong. I mean, when the last season was out and you were all coming over to watch the episode week by week, it was good. It was amazing. It was a good thrill. It just, that last episode killed me.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it was good to everybody around the time I was watching it. Well, we were all watching it. Everybody was. It was all, the whole talk. Everyone going to work and talking about it, and it's just as every episode went on, you just go into work and you just discuss why do they do this, why do they do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
I remember the theories behind it.
Yeah,
also
I remember
theories,
that.
Yeah. Thing is, as we touched on a bit earlier, that season. I don't think you should judge it by that last season. But
it works both ways.
Even big-
ways. It's like if you watch the first episode, you can't judge the whole season on it.
I reckon the earlier episodes were brilliant as well, and I reckon I can watch. I define my top 5 by watching it again. Like, I look at a show and I'm like, I can watch that again. So there's Game of Thrones is something I'll watch again, and
And the way they build it up throughout the whole season was good. I mean, especially the battles, like Battle of the Bastards, even that whole Cersei scene, like the Walk of Shame, was just amazing. But, Shame. Winter is coming.
You know when they released that last episode? Yeah, I didn't even get to watch it. I watched it 8 months later because everyone was talking about it, and it was so disappointing. And I left it 8 months later.
So I know we keep talking about the last episode. So I actually liked the first episode, right? Because I was just like, okay, I'm glad it's ended. And then I found something on YouTube, and I sent that to you. Remember?
Oh, that dude
about another podcast that was talking about it.
Yeah,
and I was like,
he was.
oh shit, he's right.
That kind of opened your eyes a bit. I think that's
yeah, it totally did, and that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't like it because it made sense as to why. Why was he doing this?
Elaborate what he said, or
well, no, because if people haven't seen it, I
Yeah.
can't
Oh,
really.
yeah,
like,
true, yes,
I'll
right.
send you the link, and then you can watch it for
Yeah,
yourself.
he was kind of brutal, man. That was brutal.
But
the
gonna make me hate
thing is, he didn't hate the show though. He was more talking about the directors, aimed at the directors, and it was kind of their fault at the end of the day.
And lazy
Sorry.
writing and stuff,
Yeah.
But did you know that a water bottle shows up in that episode, the last episode? It's like down on someone next to someone's throne.
I think
They really didn't give a shit.
There's rushed. Cersei has a Starbucks cup in one episode next to her.
They didn't bother that. Fucking, let's get this done, man. Okay.
Little G, number 5.
Oh, okay. My show is actually on Netflix. It's called Sword Art Online. It's an anime. Yeah, this came out. It's funny because this came out in 2012, and I was into my MMOs, massive. So I was playing World of Warcraft, and I was so into that. So
Were you playing it on?
PC. So I was playing that on the PC. So I loved my MMOs, especially World of Warcraft. So this anime was based around like MMO. So it was taking place in the 2022. So they were test trialing like VR headsets then, and they made a game. Basically, you connect. It was called a nerve helmet, I believe. And they connect your helmet to your nerves, and you go into this game,
Nice.
And you play as your character. You have your own character tag, and you go in and you live the world. So the trial was over. These guys are all waiting to connect on. All these players are connected on live, and then they're all playing. I think 10 minutes later, the guy tries to log off. He doesn't log off. They all get a message: you can't log off now. You have to beat the boss. So
like
everyone
200
connected.
players.
Yeah, they're all connected,
Wow.
and they cannot log out. If you see,
wow.
Yeah, and if you die in the game, your actual character dies because it's connected to your whole nerve and it'll
You
shut
die
down.
for real.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. These guys are living the life in like the MMO, and like this is their life for the next he's actually got a life. So the guy goes in, and he's a really good player, and he goes in and he has his romance and all that stuff. He's a really good player, and he gets together a group of people trying to beat this last boss. So it's his journey through this in an MMO world, and you've got your normal NPCs and all that. It's pretty much living the life of a game.
Essentially, Matrix. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
What's
it called again?
Sword Art Online.
Sword Art.
Yeah,
Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched the first season. I think
Yeah.
it is pretty good.
They got a
It
season.
must be good to be in the top 5.
Because I was into my MMO, so I watched that twice or 3 times. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I don't know if other people like it, but the whole concept of it is.
Do you know, it sounds like it could be like an episode of Black Mirror, almost. Like
Yeah,
people going
they could
in,
have-
getting stuck
yeah.
in, and they can't go out. And they
Yeah,
have to
a
kill each
very
other to
Black
go out or
Mirror type
something.
of show, isn't it? Yeah.
Incredible.
But yeah, that was a show. Yeah, that's exactly the one. Yeah. So give it a go. They got 2 seasons. The next one, I don't want to. You might like it. Some people liked it. I wasn't a big fan. I like this first season. Pretty watchable. Like it's like some episodes not too much, but it's the whole idea. If you appreciate that, you get stuck in that world and you're living the life of an MMO. And
Everyone's looking at the Netflix account now.
no, we'll give it a
Adding
go.
it to
I'm
their
pretty
list,
sure you'll
yeah.
like the concept. Yeah, like it's definitely a watch. Definitely.
Yeah,
give it a go.
Fantastic.
Big G, number 5.
My one is again my top 5. I kind of did it different to everyone else. I did it more recent. There are loads I want. It took. Yeah, there's so much I wanted to put in. There's so many shows, and I didn't.
We will do other
Yeah.
other episodes with like your favourite shows you grew up with and
That's-
stuff like
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
don't worry about.
Yeah, because I wanted to
Them
include
being
animes.
recent.
I want to like there's loads.
emotional.
literally. So I stepped aside. I put an anime side. So these are probably like last 3 years maybe. And my 5th one is Love, Death and Robot.
That was good.
Yeah, I was
How did I
damn
not
good.
put that on my list?
Mate. It was when I think again this one and you recommended to me.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was just for the
Be
listeners.
honest though, you were hooked from episode 1.
Oh mate,
Hell yeah.
this is what I love. Basically, what I love, Death
And that was that's a David Fincher.
That's
production
David
as well.
Fincher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
It's basically a
makes sense.
collection of short stories, different genres, and there's about 15, I think.
It's an anthology.
Yeah,
isn't it?
15, 16,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
episodes of like different stories, and all of them are in different sort of styles of animations and stuff. And what I loved about it is each one could have been a story, a film in its own respect. I loved every single one of them. like the first one. How that could be a film, that could be a series, that could be a game.
How
that
did
was
that-
phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
That opening, oh man! As soon as Ant said, "Just watch the first episode," I was like, okay. I was like, oh my! I was like, oh man! It was just fantastic.
Yeah, I have to ask you, what is your favorite episode?
Yeah, everyone's got one.
That's because
I think it's got to be the first episode.
first
But
one.
I do like Zima Blue as well. Like, I don't think a lot of people like that one. But
which one was that?
Zima Blue.
Zima Blue.
It's about that.
The guy in the pool.
Yeah. Look, I don't think you like that. I quite like that.
I liked it. There was.
It's the art guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't go into the episode as much, but it's the one where someone was being chased by another one. I didn't think much of that episode.
Oh, the loop. Yeah, he goes.
The Loop.
in it. I like that. The Witness or something like that.
No.
I can't remember what it's called now.
Oh my god, yes.
It's done in like sort of the Spider-Man, Spideyverse sort of animation, right?
Yeah, but with real film over it. So it's like real film, but it's coloured over with animation, if that makes any sense.
And it takes
Okay,
place in, like,
I'm sure you're
Hong
talking about
Kong.
the Witness. I think
I can't remember.
Witness,
But
yeah,
it's-
someone gets killed in the beginning, right?
And it
Yeah,
goes
the
in
Witness.
loop.
Yeah.
That's a very good.
I
episode.
also like there's an episode. No spoilers. It's about
Oh, yeah, go on.
the farmers, not farmers.
No,
the
I'm
mechs.
talking about. No, sorry, I'll go back to an episode I don't like, which is the
Hitler one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
Oh yeah.
To be honest, this is the thing. I watched, obviously, Ants watched it, and a couple other people, and everyone was like, "Oh, I don't like this one, and I don't like this one." I generally liked all of them, and it was just brilliant. I just thought it was like some of them episodes like there's one, well, there's
Like
one
each-
about the cats or some weird
These cats go roaming around.
Yeah, it's weird, and I thought I generally loved every single
Like
episode.
each of them had a hidden meaning to, like, a special moral to it, to each episode.
Like
yeah.
the what was the werewolf one? That was
amazing.
nuts.
Mate, how?
I can't remember the names, the episode names, on top of my head. But if you love animations and if you love like your short sort of stories, check it out. Love Death and Robots,
I
amazing.
really think that thing it deserved like an Emmy. I hate to say it, maybe I'm just thinking too much, but that was just every episode.
Yeah.
They literally
Brilliant.
pinpointed
Yeah.
every one. You know, like
Brilliant.
yeah.
And yeah, that's my top 5. I'll pass it over to John.
That's number 5, not your top
Number 5. Sorry.
Number 5. Yeah. Still got 3-4 months to go.
Yeah, hi. My number 5 in my list is a series called Supernatural.
Oh, that is.
About two brothers following the footsteps of their father, slaying demons, ghosts, anything like that, really. There was quite a few stars in that show. I mean, their father was Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who was Negan in Walking Dead. And there was another guy called Jim Beaver, who was like their mentor, because the father was dead. So he kind of brought them up. Again, it's like we were talking about the games. I mean, I've always been a big fan of like the Diablo series, you know. So the slaying demons and the devil and stuff like that. That's why I had the interest already in the show. It's run, I think it's 15 seasons. 15th season's been done now, I think, and then that's it. They're calling a day with it.
15. Wow.
15, yeah.
Right, so I went to San Diego Comic Con in 2008 with my wife, and we met Sam and Dean.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Right, and then we said to them, "Oh, is this going to be the final season?" And that was season 5 at the time. They said, "Yep, final season."
Yeah, it always seems to come back. I've heard all that before. I mean, season 6, 7, 8 were going to be the last ones. At the moment, they're on 15, and and again they're saying this is it. So it may run longer, it may not. But I came across a thing when I was putting this list together, and they say that Supernatural's like what's it I got wrote down here. Yeah, it's seen today in some circles as a modern gunslinger series. You've got the good guys, which are the two boys, and they go into town, they defeat the bad guys, they kiss the girl, and they ride into the night in their big black car. Whereas obviously in the old days it would be a horse. And the similarity is quite there. It's there. They get, because it's like a road trip for the boys. They go all over the country. They drive all over the country in this big black car, and they arrive in the town. They deal with whatever demon is there, but sometimes it's not straightforward. There's more to the story and so on, you know. But at the end of it, they've defeated him. They get in their car and they drive off again. And then the next episode is them driving to some other town.
and so on and so on for 15 seasons.
Exactly. And it's going on and on and on.
Guys,
it's a good series.
Guys, hear me out. Watch the first season and the last season.
Yeah, go on. Number 4, someone.
So number 4 was going to be Leftovers, but I changed it very last minute, and I have to put Smallville in there.
That's nice.
Yeah, absolutely love Smallville, and everyone knows
Good
me how
series.
much of a Superman fan I am, so it'd be stupid not to have
I
him
knew
in
that
there.
was going to be in there for you.
But yeah, I mean, I started watching it, and I remember one time my wife had walked in and was like, "What's this you're watching? Superman? It's ridiculous." And then I was watching more episodes. She was like, I really like this. Like, the characters are really good. It's like it's Superman, but it's a drama. It's a soap opera at the same time, and it's just with
Good fun, yeah.
just with Superman characters in it. So what's not to like? So yeah, number 4.
Nice.
It's fantastic. So that's my number 4 is Sons of Anarchy. Has anyone seen that, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Ran to this world.
You know, if Little J was here right now, he would love it.
I know.
Motorbikes.
Yeah, Little J
I'm actually
is
surprised
the
that's in your
biggest
top 5.
fan. It's in my top 5, and I have to say,
I knew this was coming.
I kind of told everyone about this show. It's great. Well, apart from Anne, I'm sure he told you about it, Gal, and stuff. But
I've not watched it.
Have you not seen it, John? I think
John,
you'd
you'd like it, mate.
You'd really like it.
You would like it. Honestly.
Yeah, you know what? It's because it's like it's like an outlaw biker gang. When you think of it, it's kind of like a western in a sense, you know, but with motorcycles, and you know they're in a town, and you know their specific charter or their gang, the Sons as they're called, and they have different charters around the world. This focuses on I forgot the name of it now, whatever charter it is, the California charter, or that's do you know what it is? Yeah, but it's like, and
Since I watched it.
yeah, I mean, how many seasons? Like 5 seasons or something? 7
If there's
seasons.
if there's a
Absolutely
character that I
amazing.
hate,
Yeah.
it's got to be in that show.
Is
Gemma.
it the
Is it Gemma?
Gemma?
Yeah.
It's Gemma.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
I think everyone.
I can't
has-
stand her, man. It's-
Drama
she
queen.
is the I think you told me about the girl. She's I don't want to spoil it actually.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna
don't,
spoil it.
don't.
But yeah, she is. You can see why. Yeah.
Oh,
But,
man.
And
you talking about that, saying
Yeah.
it's just about motorbike gangs, it's like my brother-in-law got me into it, so he let me
Yes.
borrow the DVD box set, which I had season 1 and 2 in it.
Yeah.
And obviously seasons went on as it went on.
Yeah.
And I had that box set for a year and never touched it because I just wasn't,
Yeah.
motorbike, it's not my
Wasn't
thing,
your-
it's terrible.
yeah.
Then one day I just thought, you know what, give it a go. And whoa,
Oh wow, literally.
wow, this is not what I expected.
Oh, exactly. And deep down inside, I always wanted to watch a show like this because I think the first time it came on was on a show channel called FX. No, it was on channel. There was like one of those side Channel 5 channels, like it was this 5 USA or something like that, and it first aired on there, and I was thinking, okay, if it's on that show, it can't be that great. And I read the blurb, and I thought, why are not many people talking about this show? And then I remember watching it and thinking, oh my god, this is amazing, absolutely amazing. And I remember, again, like huge GTA fan, but they had like a DLC called Lost and Damned, which is about the motorcycle gang.
So, yeah.
So it kind of synced in well with that. And I was watching that thinking, oh, they did a show on this. And you can see where Lost and Damned, that subculture came from, was from this show.
It is,
And exactly. And to see Charlie Hunnam come from Green Street and movies like that to come and play.
And Queer as Folk.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, I forgot he's in that.
He's
And,
such a good actor.
He's really good. I mean, he's got that kind of like hard.
I'm so desperate
Yeah.
for him to play Green Arrow. If they do a film, he would
my
be
God,
the
yeah.
best Oliver Queen ever.
He would, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Church,
brilliant.
number
Yeah.
4, mate.
My number 4 is actually a type of TV series nobody actually mentioned today. It's actually a sitcom that we haven't come across or haven't talked about. It's actually Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know what it's about. You know, it's about Will Smith coming out from Philadelphia, moving into the
It's
Bel Air.
about the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, it's just about how he adapts to his new life, completely different environment. You know, just as the seasons go on, he learns about different values from obviously Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil, legendary.
Rest in
He's
peace to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just I find it amazing each time I watch it again and again. Like, well, not every day, but you know, when I do go back to it and watch it again, it's just
The morals in that are
it's
really
it's
good.
really deep.
It goes deep.
It
Yeah.
does run deep, and it's just I think it's because of Uncle Phil. He just he puts him in his place sometimes of the time.
We learn a lot from that show. I've learned a lot from it. Big question: how many times have you seen it?
Oh,
I've seen it so many times.
can't really count, but probably like
Yeah, but that's
6,
a
7
testament
times.
to the writing of the show.
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
can-
That you can so easily go back and watch it again.
Again and
Even
again,
though
yeah.
you know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, and you still laugh at
want
the
to
same
watch it.
moments you
Yeah,
you did the first time.
There's this episode that I still, every time I watch, I still get the chills. Not chills,
I
that
think I know which
like
one.
it's like very like sad. It's the one, you know, I don't know, but people must have watched it, or listeners must have watched it.
Can we spoil it?
Spoiler.
Spoiler warning.
Thank you.
Basically, the episode where Will's dad comes back,
Oh yeah.
And-
Yes.
and when he obviously leaves him again.
He said
That-
we both are going to go on a
Yeah.
road trip together. And
I think I almost cry every time. Even now talking about it, I get chills. It's so sad, and the way he portrays the emotions. That was like, it's amazing.
that one stuck. Another episode that stuck for me is when I think Carlton tries. I think Carlton and Will were trying to caught up in an incident, and
they're
Will
done,
must have
right?
got shot.
Yeah.
But he took the bullet for Carlton.
Yeah.
And then Carlton comes into the hospital. Comes in to visit
that
Will.
was
And
emotional as well.
he's coming with a gun, and he's like, he kind of like, you can see the emotion on Will's face where he's like, "No, you owe me this. You shouldn't do this kind of thing."
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah,
Goosebump
those
moment.
episodes.
This is a comedy you talk about.
Oh yeah. It's got some deep
I was
scenes.
going to say, that's deep.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That was
No,
my-
good pick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
number
but
four.
no,
Big,
you're right. We didn't touch up on
Damn it, I
sitcoms,
should put that
but
in mine.
Yeah. Level G.
Yeah, so my one is similar categories like comedy. I think you guys must have heard of IT Crowd.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm not- yeah, I've
Love
seen
that show.
Yeah, I love British comedy, and I probably like this so much because I can relate to these guys just a bit because we're gamers and we're like, yeah, I've always watching these guys. You just kind of want to work in their environment. Like, I have a friend as well who's in that field, and he said people are just so thick about computers, and I was like, is it actually true? He said, yeah, people don't know what they're doing.
They try to
So,
turn
yeah.
an alpha.
Yeah, and literally that's what and he said, that is the answer to most of the questions that they get. So yeah, it's one of my top shows. Yeah, because I've enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
I've seen it so many times, and it's just hilarious.
something about the characters.
I've watched that whole show three or four times.
Yeah.
I always keep. And you still laugh in the same
Yeah.
spots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can watch it. I've seen it 3-4 times. I've watched every episode. Still laughing.
Yeah.
I've got a story about this one. Obviously, when this aired, I can't remember how long ago.
Was this
now.
a pretty?
Yeah. So my cousin used to live with us.
Listen
and,
to this, guys.
He used to work in Tesco's. And obviously, I don't know the actor.
Chris O'Dowd.
Yeah. So he turned up into his store. And obviously, in one of the episodes, he acts as if he's disabled. And obviously, they come into the disabled toilet and goes, "What happened? What happened?" He goes, "I'm disabled." Like, it's a very iconic scene of one of the main episodes. And then obviously, he walked into the store and then obviously bought his things. And then obviously, my cousin was serving him, and my cousin was like, "I know you somewhere." And then. Without obviously it could have been someone else or anyone, like it could have been any. And then my cousin quotes his lines, which is, "I'm disabled."
Exactly what he said to.
and thank God it wasn't some random person; it was an actor, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you recognise, yeah, man." Yeah. He goes, I thought that was hilarious. Just the fact that it could have been someone else. And he just, not nothing. Oh, how are you? Oh, I know you. Just like
he took
"I'm
a chance
disabled."
with it.
Yeah. Well, it was brilliant.
Yeah, the actors
Yeah,
on
damn
that show is
sure.
amazing. Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely one of my. It's definitely it should be someone. I'm surprised it's good. It's in my top 5.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. My one is Kingdom.
Oh, nice.
So that for me is phenomenal. I think me and a couple of us here watch a lot of Korean films, and I think this is the first Korean.
Why did you watch Korean films now? He got you into them.
You did. They're amazing, man.
They know how to. They know how to do zombie stuff.
Damn. Train to Busan. Oh God!
One movie.
Can't wait for the sequel. Oh yeah,
Oh,
damn.
yeah.
Kingdom is basically historical story about back in the days with the twist of zombies in it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
But without spoilers, it's season 1 has the ending was that. I couldn't take that ending. Yeah, I just couldn't take that ending. No, you can't leave.
And then you had to wait another year.
Yeah,
for
that's what I hate about TV shows. You just can't leave it like that, man. You got to finish it for me. But even
we all had the same.
Yeah.
We all turned around to each other. and We all went, "No, you can't do that."
the thing is that it bugs me when shows end like that, but then get cancelled.
Yeah.
Because again, going back to Superman stuff, Krypton is a really good series, and then the massive cliffhanger left on season 2, and then they've just gone bollocks, cancel it, and I'm just so gutted by that. It could have carried on.
That's another podcast, isn't it? We can talk about that.
Yeah, I guess
there's been quite a few shows like that
cancelled, isn't it? Yeah.
And then you get such high hopes, and then that's it, it's cancelled. And you think, what?
Number 4, John.
Number 4.
Again, a very, very hard list to put together, but my number 4 has to be Vikings.
Ooh. Yeah, and sold that to me, so yeah.
Yeah, that's my next watch.
If it's in the top 5, mate, so it's in his top 5, should I say?
Have you guys seen it?
I did like military history and stuff at school, so I've got an interest in this kind of thing anyway. And I like Norse mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology. Hence the games, like the Assassin's Creed games, stuff like that. So I always had this interest in the Vikings. So as soon as I saw there was a show about Vikings, I thought, I'll give it a watch. And it is amazing, an amazing show. Really well worth watching. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Yeah, definitely. After tonight, I'll definitely be watching it now. It's on my list.
So number 3. So my number 3 is, lucky enough, a sitcom.
Oh, okay.
So, but again, I've gone back on stuff where there's actually a sitcom I really like. I don't know if you guys heard it. It's called Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And that is it's a really, really good comedy show. It's if you don't know the premise of it, it's about a man called Larry David who, in real life, wrote a very popular US TV series called Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, is it the comedy?
So Larry David wrote the show Seinfeld in real life. So he plays himself now. He's a millionaire. He sold, he's very very famous for being on the Seinfeld and writing it. And just goes about his daily life, but everything, there's always a situation that happens on an episode that comes back to him at the end of the episode. Yeah. And it's silly little things. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like when you sit down and your trousers puff up, like it looks like you got a boner, but it doesn't. So he goes, so he's like, why do your trousers do that? Why do they puff up like that? So later on in the episode, he's in the cinema and the woman walks past him and looks like he's got a boner because she looks like she's getting hard and she's terrified of him, like he called him a pervert and stuff like that. So it's really fun. It's just done its 10th season as well. Wow. So there's loads, absolutely loads. There's 10 episodes a season. And I think they vary from half an hour to an hour. Sometimes it depends on what type of episode, what happens in the episode, sort of thing. But I can't recommend it enough. I've got the whole lot if you ever want to borrow it as well.
Is it ongoing or is it finished, the whole thing?
It's still going. Season 11 may be out next year after.
Where is it going on? What's it on?
So it was currently on Sky Atlantic.
Yeah.
Which I think you could, if you got on Now TV, you could probably pick it up on the box set thing.
Okay, that's cool.
Because season 10 has literally just finished a month or two ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Curb Your Enthusiasm. If you love a comedy, give it a try. Just watch season 1 and go from there. If you like it, carry on with it.
No, it sounds.
I'm surprised nobody's talked about it. Like the first time I've heard of it.
But this is the thing. It's kind of gone. It's because it's kind of gone under the radar, and I don't know why. But it's obviously popular as it's gone along. It's like Breaking Bad. Like no one knew what Breaking Bad was until the final season.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I watched Breaking Bad years before it came out, and then when season 5 came out, everyone was like, Breaking Bad's out. It was like, no, it's been out for 5 years now.
Okay.
And this is so Curb Your Enthusiasm's kind of got more popular now, but I can't recommend it enough. It's so much fun, and I could go back and rewatch an episode any day. There's not one episode where I'm like, that was a crap episode. Something happens and just makes me giggle, or just like some of the characters in it, you just like hate, but you can't. You love to hate them. There's like a really annoying woman who shouts profanity all the time, and you can't help it. But she's a laugh. She's annoying, but she's a laugh. But watch it, give it a go. That's number 3.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Added to the list. Okay, guys, my number 3 now. Yeah, it's
3.
Okay, this is actually like a personal favorite of mine, and to be honest, I don't know if anyone has actually seen this. It's House, which is a medical
My
drama.
parents love House.
Oh, it's seriously like the reason I've got a thing for House is
is that because you're a pharmacist?
Seriously, this is a true story. I mean, I was watching House because, in a sense, when you're my final year of studying, I had to work in a pharmacy and do this grueling exam called the pre-ridge exam, which you had to get 70% to pass. It was difficult, and I watched an episode of House before that. After doing 12 hours of revising and going crazy, and it was about a guy who had this condition called gout, and and he had to take this drug.
That's
called
Hugh Laurie's
colchicine.
character, isn't it?
That's Hugh Laurie's character, and Hugh Laurie. Which I didn't know, by the way. He's British. I know it sounds really stupid, but his accent is so it's amazing, isn't it? It's just so good, and like even the way when he's out of character, it's still brilliant. I mean, he makes that show. It's Dr. House. It's a show about him. But basically, on the exam, a question came up, and I didn't know the answer. And the drug that featured was on the previous episode of House, and it was called colchicine. And I absolutely loved that drug.
Wow.
So weird coincidence, but it got me the mark. And funnily enough, I found out that I just passed that exam by 1 mark. So that was the shit.
And that was thanks to House.
Exactly. Yeah. So
that deserves to be in the top.
Exactly.
Purely for
that sounds like that should be your number one person. So your other two better be pretty good.
I should have moved up.
Amazing.
Yeah, but that was that, and and also another connection to it is my boss. His son, who's a doctor, is studying in med school, and his best friend is Hugh Laurie's son. So that's a true story, which is, again, I didn't find this out.
The connection
with that, yeah. But the reason why House is different from different medical dramas, it's one of those things where if you are really into your science terminology, every episode is based on a real life case. So you watch it and you think, how is this real? It's based on a real thing. So they've gone through papers and journals of real life, episodes, and it kind of built around it.
A hospital drama.
It's a hospital drama, and
it's on Amazon if you want to give it a go.
Okay.
It's on Amazon, yeah. And it's based in a prestigious medical college called Princeton University Hospital.
It's got 7 seasons or something.
Yeah, 8 seasons.
8 seasons.
Yeah. And it's something about the character. You learn about Hugh Laurie's character as he passes on, because you think of doctors, they're all good guys. This guy is just hard ass, and he won't be afraid to tell you, listen, you're an idiot, or you're an arsehole, and he would go against you and backstab you. That's what makes it really interesting. And every episode, this thing about binging, I purposefully would watch 1 episode a week because I didn't want it to end. And I took a hiatus of 2 years to watch the last season, and even the last episode, I broke it up into 20 minutes per episode because I didn't want it to end. And the ending episode did do justice, and it was sad when it ended. So if anyone who's into medical dramas, if you haven't seen House, watch it, because it's different. It's not that.
Yeah, my parents love it. I've never actually watched it myself, but I do want to watch it.
So good, because it does it in a way where you don't have to be a doctor to understand. They'll say lumbar puncture and all these big words, but somehow you
understand what
normal level IQ, you'd understand what it is.
It might be my hospital fix until New Amsterdam season 3's out.
Yes. And then New Amsterdam came, and I
can't believe you
House just does it. So, House.
I'll have to check that one out.
Please.
Nice.
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Ferg, number 3. What's your number 3, sir?
Okay, I'm going to keep this one brief because it's actually been mentioned by Big G.
Damn you!
Damn me!
My first Korean TV show was actually Kingdom.
Yeah.
And that was just...
It is a good choice, guys. It is a damn good choice.
It was hard not to keep it off. I was actually going to think of taking it off, but it had to stay on the list. Simply because it's just amazing. Zombies with samurai swords. What's not to like, isn't it?
Medieval times,
I mean, character's amazing.
There's more to it, but then you can't talk about it because it's kind of spoiler.
I just want to say, I'm trying not to say it, but it's this is like...
Walking Dead is so pedestrian compared to it, because
and this was
you
only
can't
1 season.
beat the Koreans for
Walking Dead ain't got shit on
horror
Kingdom.
and zombies. My God,
I hope they don't drag it out like Walking Dead, because that's when they're just like...
Well, season 2, this is what I was talking about before, where a season tops first, the first season that come out. This one kind of was, apart from the ending, but I thought...
you can't talk about that, but
it lived up to the first season, basically, I feel like it.
Your G, number 3.
Mindhunters is my number 3. You guys know what the situation. I think you guys all, some of you seen it. It's basically about 2 FBI agents, and it's taken place in 1977. And it's basically these agents are studying the psychological, the killers, how they think, and they're trying to study them. And this is where they think they come to terms with serial killers and actually studying. They actually go back to previous killers and actually interview them. And that's what I love. That I love. I'm not a psychopath or anything, but I love understanding why they did it. And yeah, you know,
actually did do that. So
yeah. So yeah, that's what kind of gripped me too. I don't know if anyone else is. I was actually gutted when you said they actually paused the show. I actually got.
I was
actually
Well,
hurt.
it's
I mean, I'm
obviously
just
not
saying,
anyone
I love
else's.
that show.
So
Because it's such a good show. Like every episode that grips me. It's just, if you're going to start, take your time. It's one of those series you have to give it 3-4 episodes, and you really get into it. And you have to be in the mood as well, like for dark as
Do you
well.
remember when I was watching it before you even started?
Yeah, I was
like, what the hell are you watching?
I was actually sitting down, like I was on my phone, and my brother was watching it, and I was like, "What the hell was he watching?" And the guy was into it at the time. He was on episode 2 watching this guy interviewing a famous killer, and I was just like, wow, the shit he was saying. I was like, wow, this is that. Like, literally, I was actually watching for 15, 20 minutes, him interviewing him. It was amazing, yes.
The dialect in the season
Yes.
1 is amazing.
Yes,
It's deep as well. And I remember watching the episode with the guy with the shoe.
Ed Kemper.
I remember watching that, and obviously he gives him the.
he likes lady shoes. Doesn't
Yeah.
he?
And then I think my mum walked in and was like, "What the fuck?"
the guy at the beginning at every
season 1. Season 1.
He's doing some
Season
weird
1.
shit.
Yeah. It's every interview. You just can't wait for the next interview. innit?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Because you feel like you're in line with those in the agents,
Yeah.
because they're tackling a field that's new and uncharted territory for them. So you're going in with them. You feel like you're the third.
You feel like
agent,
you're cracking it
But
with them. like-
as they learn
Yeah.
stuff, they're sent on like murders, to go in and understand what's going on, and
What's
they're
going on.
applying what they learn, and it's pretty, and it
Yes.
actually help them catch the murderer.
Definitely.
Yeah, so it's amazing. It's pretty cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
So
it's a very good show. Definitely watch it.
Good choice. Good choice.
that should have been in my top 5 as well, but obviously I didn't want to put it in because I know one of you guys mentioned it. Yeah.
That's not what lists is about, mate.
No,
your list.
No, I get it. But I think my list is nah. I think this one should beat mine, Hunter. My number 3, Chernobyl.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Damn.
God fucking damn! I should have put
Would
that
you,
in there.
would you class that as a documentary?
No, TV
It's
series
not,
definitely. TV series based on real events.
I remember when I was first watching it, and I don't know. There's something like scary about that. You after watching it, and then you realise you have a nuclear plant like around you, and if shit goes wrong, you can
Basically,
you're fucked.
yeah. Like, would you guys agree? Because it's like an invisible killer. You know, it's like this is real world. Like radiation, you don't see radiation, but it's going to affect you in about 3-4 days time. It's a bit like coronavirus. You're not gonna
it's
know
scary,
till
isn't it?
5 years time,
Yeah.
like 5 days time. When you're
But
going to show.
there's a part in the show where they're miles away from the factory, and they're watching the factory from like a binoculars and a building miles away. And he says, even us standing here will be dead in 2 years.
Yeah,
Regardless,
I
how
remember that.
fucking scary is that?
It's
That
one,
really
I think
happened?
it's one of those terrifying shows I've seen.
But did you know the guys that did Chernobyl are doing the Last of Us series?
That's
Wow.
amazing news.
Okay.
That's brilliant.
Yes.
That's going to be done right now.
Yeah, same directors that did that series are doing the Last of Us.
I love life.
I mean, everything was on point with that. Cinematography, everything. Oh, it was just brilliant. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's why it's my top 3. John,
What's your number 3?
Chernobyl.
Is it back in
I love
1993?
who said that. Yeah. What's 1993?
on the PC.
my number 3 is CSI, the original CSI.
The original.
Yeah, 15 seasons. Again, ran for quite a while. There was 3 spin-offs. You had CSI Miami, CSI New York, and CSI Cyber. Again, it's all fact-based, and each episode was, had a different story. Someone got missing or someone died, and you're along for the ride with them all, and you're like learning how they're doing things. It's a little bit like Mindhunters, like they're saying about, really, really enjoyed that series.
It's one of those shows where a lot of people who are doing forensic science now, you ask them, and they're like, why did you do forensic science? I know someone, like one of my patients who's, she's doing it, and I'm like, why are you doing it? She's CSI. And I was like, I knew that answer before you said it. I just wanted to confirm it. Like,
it got people interested in it. So.
definitely. Yeah, that's a good choice, Sean. Yeah, it's really. What's your favorite episode, by the way? Do you have a favorite one? What do you think of the Tarantino directed
I liked,
one?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I liked.
That's
the,
right. He directed an episode. You guys know.
Yeah. I liked some of the recurring themes. Like, remember the killer that used to. I'm just waiting for him to do something.
Doing anything?
With the shoebox. He used to create he would create a murder scene in a shoebox, and then he'd send the shoebox to Grissom. Do you ever remember them?
I've heard of that episode.
Grissom, is that?
No, that wasn't just the one episode. He'd done
it was
this.
like a serious episode.
He
That
must
sounds
have
like a
run
Gotham
through
reference.
2 or 3 seasons, and all of a sudden, this shoebox would turn up in the post
And it has
to
a
the
crime
office,
scene
and
in
he'd
there.
open it, and inside the shoebox was a miniature crime scene, and then
Scary.
they would find exactly because he'd planned it, obviously, and it would be absolutely perfect crime scene, and the body would be how it was, in how they'd find it, and so on. And that was very, very good because they didn't catch him for ages. Just they get toward the end of the episode, and you'd think, oh, they're going to catch him now, and wouldn't catch him. And then 6 or 7 episodes later, he'd get another shoebox, and you'd say, oh, well, they're never going to catch this guy. I liked him. He was that killer was very, very good.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting. I
Really
might have to do
iconic,
that.
Yeah.
Are we into a 15-season pattern?
Yeah, this is hard to say.
It's finished now. Exactly. Yeah, that's another one that's done 15 seasons. Yeah,
Yeah, 2 in a row, mate.
but it has actually ended. So
Nice one.
Good choice. My number 2. I don't know if it's going to be in anyone's final 2, but mine's Lost.
Yes.
I think I don't.
Now,
And
going back to what we were saying about leftovers, I think Lost was the first prime example where people lost their patience with it and gave up on it. Especially after season 1, because season 2 was cracking. It's like it was amazing.
Just in love with it. And
I remember each episode is like, oh, what?
But do you
Yeah.
ever remember
Yeah.
when it was first advertised? It was merely like a teaser advert. It was just a bunch of the cast just dancing on the beach,
yeah.
and there would be like a broken airplane in the background.
Yeah.
Really?
No one knew what it was until you watched the first episode. Like,
Yeah.
this tropical island's got polar bears. This tropical island's got a black smoke, and it's killing people. What the fuck is all this? And it kept you going. But because it didn't give you answers, people were like, "Oh, it's a fucking show."
Yeah, no, that was
Yeah.
me. I actually stopped watching it, and then
Yeah.
I came back to it later on.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And then it was affected by the writer strike again in season 4. So season 4 kind of went off, and it went into time travel and all that, which was probably the only downside to it. But it got there. It answered, and you just had to be patient with it, because at the end of the day, I know it kept going back in flashbacks and whatnot, people getting bored of it.
Flash
But there was a reason for it, though.
Yeah.
There was a reason why they were doing that, like why they were this person and why this guy had this tattoo, for example, or whatever. And it wasn't afraid to kill certain characters off and just carry on with it. You just never knew it was coming.
Genius.
Yeah.
Basically.
And again, it was one of those shows where we mentioned earlier where you thought you figured it out, and then the very last 10 seconds it would throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
That's literally every
basically
episode
it,
for
right?
me. I'll remember that. Me and you watching it together. weren't we?
Absolutely, yeah. And who is your favourite character in that? Did you have a favourite character? Because a lot of people that I've spoken to like that show
Saeed,
have
isn't it?
a specific-
Say again?
It's Saeed, doesn't it?
Saeed.
No.
I bet it must have been Sawyer. Was it Sawyer?
Sawyer.
No, I
So yeah,
Yeah,
Is that
so,
him?
yeah.
Yeah.
I like Jack because he was kind of the guy who was representing the audience. Jack
That's right.
always
That's
wanted answers.
That's
Jack
it.
was always the guy who like, no, you don't tell me later, you tell me now.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was like the guy that,
We are following through. With
yeah, you
like,
follow. But then there was other characters like, oh, shit, what was he called? What was the guy in the hatch called? Was it Ben? No.
Desmond.
Desmond. He was good.
I like him.
He was
my
another
favourite.
character was good.
Is he the guy with the guitar?
But
No. That's,
lived inside the house.
Charlie.
I remember when the last episode came out, and it was live throughout the world. It was the first time a TV show was live throughout the world, because if it was live, if it was on the night before in the US, spoilers would get out the next day
That's right.
straight away. So I believe the last episode in this country aired at 5 a.m,
Wow.
Yeah.
and it was like 8 o'clock in America. It was like
That's how
10 o'clock.
popular it was, though.
That's how popular the last episode got.
Oh,
and
yeah.
even though everyone hated the last episode, I bawled my eyes out. I cried. There was one specific
mate.
part where it just got me, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I just don't know why people were disappointed with it, because it made sense if you watched it properly and not, get your phone out and send a text or not, and actually watch it. It made sense. It was a reason why, even though, again, it was one of those shows where people come up with their theories, and because their theory didn't come true, everyone hated it.
Yeah.
So that was the downside.
I was one of those people. I was pretty confused at the ending a little bit, but I had to rewatch it a couple of times to
Get it.
and like eventually get understand. But again, amazing, right? How genius
Absolutely.
to come up to like think about scripting that. It's just ingenious. Even Desmond's storyline. That bit of
being
like,
in the
but it was all connected. I believe there's in episode 2 of season 1, you see 2 dead bodies.
yeah,
And they're there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But you don't find out until
later-
the penultimate episodes
Yes.
why they're there.
amazing.
And it's like it all connects at the end of the day.
I want to watch it again.
It
now.
made perfect sense. Again, you just had to be patient with it, because the answer would come. Just not straight away, but they would be like the numbers when Hurley kept having these specific numbers in his head, and he used them for the lottery and whatnot. Again, was explained the episode before last.
That was
It was
amazing.
done. It was explained.
And the guy in the bunker was putting in the same numbers. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was,
I literally I don't remember a show like every every episode makes you go, oh my god, what the hell?
Yeah.
And that's one of the shows that rarely
did
done.
that.
Did that every episode.
I don't know, am I right? Was it probably the first show that you watched, right? Where, normally you watch a TV show, it has the beginning credits. This one was just lost, and they went into the show. That was it. Yeah.
But
Thank God for
But
that.
every time an episode started, you know this is going there. Every time an episode started, I was so waiting for it to go previously on Lost.
Yes, I actually remember that.
Now, when I was DJing back in my early days, I used to do mixes with some dance tracks, and I used to have previously on Lost in the background.
Amazing.
I used to love it. But there, that's number 2.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Number 2, Lost.
Fantastic. Okay, my number 2 is another show you're probably going to have number 1. I'm going to piss some people off here. Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's a good choice. Yeah.
It's a good choice for a pharmacist to go into about a series about pharmacies.
I'm getting kind of worried now.
I learnt many things from that show in my practice. Yeah, that one, again, it was, people were talking about it. Like Ant said, it was on the last season where people were going, oh, Breaking Bad. And I was like, dude, I know I swear this has been going on before, A lot of
Went on
people
for ages.
Ages before that. Yeah, I think it was like 2012 when it started, I think.
Yeah,
Or before that.
So 2011, it was.
2011.
I remember it coming up on Blockbusters, and a friend of mine recommended it to me. Now, the only reason why I didn't watch it straight away because of Bryan Cranston had come straight off of a comedy show to do a serious drama.
Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes.
Yeah,
And no one watched Breaking Bad for that reason. Even
That's
after I
right.
watched it, I was recommending it to customers. It's like, what's Bryan Cranston? It's going to be funny. It's not going to be good. Stupid. Why would I watch it?
Exactly.
So, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And I think the credit, when I see it now, because huge fan of Breaking Bad, I know a lot of people are listening to this, and guys on this table as well agree with me. Like, there's something about that show that grips you. And again, the first season was a slow burn, and it's slowly, you just
in the middle, it was kind of a bit slow as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Bit
but you have
slow.
to stick through it.
You got to bear
have
with
to.
it. Yeah.
You got to bear with it, and then eventually there's the story just gets bigger. Again, it's the characters in that, and just
Absolutely.
the whole. You're seeing some guy you'd never think doesn't even look like a drug dealer, and seeing him rising up the ranks. And I'll say no more because there's some people who haven't seen it. And what
guy
are you
does-
doing with your life?
Yeah.
I mean,
I got into it rather late. Probably a
Okay.
couple of seasons had already gone.
Oh, same.
And
yeah.
people were a bit like Game of Thrones. It was exactly the same with Game of Thrones. So
Yes.
everybody said, "Oh, you must watch it. You must watch it." And I'm going, "Yeah, I will. I'll get to it eventually."
yeah.
And I started watching. I was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait for the next episode." I was
Yeah,
hooked on it. I was like, why have I
exactly.
been watching this all along?
I couldn't wait. I'd say to myself, watch an episode a day, and I couldn't wait to come home and watch it from work. And I remember I was working, again, another boring pharmacy story, but I'd work in a pharmacy where every day we had to make this thing called methadone
Did you
for
actually make
certain
it?
patients. And the thing is, we
This
had to
is why
make
you love
20
this
a
shit,
day.
don't you?
And at
Yeah,
that
he's been
time,
doing
I was
cooking
watching,
outside,
like,
haven't you?
I was literally cooking, and I'm watching. It's the most pharmacy that you can get because I'm watching at the time when they had a lab. And you're seeing them actually mass produce this. And, and I kind of related to that. I was like, I'm making this. And at the end of the day, I'm getting a paycheck. And it's quite good. Like, this is before, like I had to pay the mortgage for my house and stuff. So, I was like, you're going through, it was pretty amazing. But again, like the writers, it's the writers, it's just, I don't know how they literally sat down in that room and they said, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. By the way, we need to do it through this angle. My brother suggested it watching it the second time round, and the second time when you do watch it, you notice things. You know, you notice things because it's like happened later on in the show, and you're just like, oh, that's this little Easter eggs as well. Just, you know, even to pop culture and stuff. And it's one of those things where after you watch it, you got to go into like, you know, like top 30 Easter eggs, you know, those kind of YouTube videos. And there's a lot of things you watch and you think, wow, that was amazing.
Did you watch the movie?
Yes. I did. Yes.
And?
Yes. Can I be honest with you? I did like it. Yeah. Okay. Because I think people went in thinking, okay, with the expectations of Breaking Bad, and you just know it's not going to be that, but it was some sort of conclusion.
But did you think it was necessary?
Good question. That's a very
in my opinion, no.
But I'd probably.
Hence why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I know.
There's no need.
Yeah, I think in terms of seeing what the writers would do with it, I was kind of, you know, to see what they did.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I thought that was, it had that kind of flow, because they also did, at the time, they also worked on Better Call Saul. Again, I'm kicking myself. Well, that's not on my top 5 list, because if you liked Breaking Bad, that's a great
like spin that's on my list as well.
Exactly, definitely. But Breaking Bad.
Good choice. Good choice. Good. Kurj, what's your number 2, sir?
My number 2, on my list I had to include an anime, and my anime being Erased. I don't know if you guys heard of it.
No.
Go first.
No, not heard of it.
Which one though? The animation? Oh, you just said the animation.
Animation, but even the live action one that they did of it is just as good. But yeah, Erased is essentially about this 30-year-old manga artist that comes into terms that he has this ability called revival. And basically what it is before any life-threatening thing that happens to him, he's able to travel back in time. And this particular incident that happens is where the killer literally kills his mum, and he's being framed for it. And he's given the chance to go back in time, but instead he doesn't get to choose when he goes back in time. So he's actually thrown back 18 years back to when he was a kid, where whereas there's another case that's actually going on during that time period, which has affected him with his whole life pretty much. That one of his best friends has been like kidnapped, and he has the opportunity to save his best friend again, and that is the premise of this. And it
sounds deep.
It is amazing.
It's very deep. Very good. The anime and the live action, I would recommend it any day to anyone. It's
short and sweet.
Yeah, and it's proof that a 12-episode anime or the actual series speaks volumes.
Less is more.
Yeah. And that's
Might give that a go then,
you should. You like it. Even the live action one is on really point as well. You can, if you don't like the animation, you can watch that one.
Yeah, he
well.
just said that.
Please watch it in Japanese with subtitles. No dub, please.
No Australian dub.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah, please don't do that. I'm not.
Little G, number 2.
I think we were all talking about Game of Thrones. Yeah. I mean,
right. I'm going to slow his mic down.
No. It's funny. You know how I got into it? I think I was 19 or 20, and someone basically said, I think they had season 1 out, and Yeah. And this guy said, "Oh, did you watch the show?" And I was like, "No." And he said, "No, it's got a lot of sex and nudity in it, and dragon." I was like, "Yeah, I'll watch it for the dragon." The dragons. And, I was like, "Yeah,
dragons for the dragons." Anyway, for the dragons.
Yeah, it was for the dragons, but yeah, they had a lot of dragons in it, so you had to watch it. So yeah, so 9 seasons.
I think I remember walking into the room when you're watching it, and what's her name? Khaleesi. Khaleesi was. I was like, "The hell are you watching?"
Just keeps rewinding it. No, but the show is amazing. I think we've talked enough about it, but yeah, that is in my second top. Yeah,
good choice.
Apart from the last episode, but you can. I'm pretty. Like,
not just going back to it is a good show. I know I loved it all the way through, but I'm not saying it's crap, but Vikings is better.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Vikings a go off that, but yeah.
Or just watch Game of Thrones episode 1, season 1, and then watch episode 8.
No, don't do that.
Season 8, episode 8. Anyway, moving on. Big G, number 2.
Mine is Money Heist.
Oh, you bastard!
You beat him to it.
That's all I have to say.
No, it's not my number 1, but it's.
It's got.
Damn you! It's good. God, I love that. Goku, please tell me you've seen it. Just to get out.
And not even dubbed.
Well, you kind of look like the professor, so if you haven't seen it,
like the professor.
Asian professor.
You actually do look like it.
I do like it. There's many instances where people have looked at me and they said, You look like the Professor, like very tanned version of the Professor. Yeah.
Very tan.
And even on Netflix, when you choose your character profile picture, mine's the Professor. So it just makes sense.
The reason why I chose Money Heist, I think, is just genius. Again, I love the fact that this guy thinks like 10 moves ahead. That's everything is just.
It's like a chess player.
He's a
Isn't
genius.
it?
Yeah. I love the characters named after cities.
Yeah,
I just think that's genius.
Yeah. Oh
never been
man,
done.
can you do that? Denver's laugh.
His laugh is amazing.
I love that character. Yeah, the characters in that Nairobi, Tokyo's annoying, but she's fit. But
Didn't you prefer the first two parts as opposed to the last two parts?
Again,
third part?
definitely.
Yeah,
again, this is one of those shows where, like, when it ended after season 2,
Season
should have ended,
season
I
two
think.
ended.
Yeah,
It did end.
For
Again-
me, that's what it should have ended.
Yeah.
Personally,
But because I love it so much, I'm just like, let's do it again. But so basically, it's just about these guys. Kind of, a professor creates a team, and they rob.
It's different because it's not a conventional bank. It's a money printing factory. The Mint, the
That's
Royal
it.
Mint.
Yeah.
And the fact that he knows what will happen, and just go watch it.
Yeah.
Just go, and it's one of those.
Don't spoil it. Maybe.
Don't spoil it, yeah, definitely.
It's one of those ones. Again, like a lot of people might miss it because it's in Spanish and it's subtitled. And if you can't, I don't know if is it dubbed. I don't think that's dubbed, is it?
Oh, no, I think there is.
I think it
Is
is.
it? Oh, okay. Yeah. So a lot of people probably miss it. Yeah. Yeah. Just check it out. Amazing.
Good pick.
John.
Damn good pick. Mr. Kelly, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is an old series. I don't know if any of you have watched it, called MASH.
I honestly thought that was going to be your number 1.
No, I very nearly was. I love MASH. 11 seasons. I love the dark
4
humour.
seasons out of 15.
I love the dark humour in it.
What year did it come out?
1972.
72.
And obviously, it's MASH stands for Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. They did exist. It was set in the Korean War, which was in the 50s. But the show was just the writing for the show was funny. The actors were funny. The banter between all of them was funny. Even though they could be operating on a guy who was about to die, but their humour, it just made you laugh so much, and yet it's supposed to be quite serious. So it was obviously seen as like a dark comedy, really. But I loved it. Loved that series. Loved it.
And all of them were quiet because none of you watched it.
And most of the ones I haven't. John Mintz I haven't. I want to though. I want to see CSI.
No,
CSI is amazing. MASH is really, really good.
Yeah.
If you like, it's quite fun. Only about half. I think each episode is about half an hour.
Would you class it as a sitcom?
What, MASH? No.
No?
It is funny. I don't know. That's a hard call. It probably is, but it's stretching.
It's sitcoms with themes of seriousness.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. Gokul, you being a pharmacist, you probably understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When something is really, really serious, like I can well imagine actual surgeons in a hospital.
Yep.
And they're operating on a child.
Oh yeah.
And if they get something wrong, this child could die.
Basically,
You can't tell me that they're not cracking jokes with each other to try and get over the fact that they're operating on a child.
Yeah.
So you get that from this series of MASH, that the humour is so funny.
Yeah.
It's so well written, and then all of a sudden, the click of a fingers, that a helicopter will come in with some dying soldiers on it, and now they've got to rush into the ER and try and save these guys, and
it
yet
gets
they're
very
still
serious.
cracking jokes.
Yeah, as they're doing it. Yeah.
Oh, it was just such a well written series.
It's that dark humor, isn't it?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
I've got to say, like the ones you mentioned, they're like well over 10 episodes. They're very daunting to like. Like, I
10
might.
seasons, you mean?
10 seasons.
Well, the first two you mentioned were 15. This one's 10, right?
11.
Supernatural
11,
was 15. This one was 11. CSI was 15 as well.
Did you watch it in one go or like?
No, I used to watch. Well, in them days, I I used to watch MASH one a week. But I've been back and watched it since, and then watched several episodes at a time.
Did you say it came out in 1977?
72.
72. Wow, before we were born. I don't know.
Interesting. I might check the CSI. That sounds interesting.
CSI is very good.
No, I've heard about MASH.
I'll tell you what, if you ever go for 11 seasons of MASH, you can host the show.
This is what I'm saying. There's very I haven't watched anything apart from maybe Fresh Prince. That's that. How many?
Yeah, that's.
But how long are the episodes on this one?
20, 30, 25 minutes.
MASH is about half hour.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Then, okay, I was thinking 1 hour. That's a lot.
No, I mean most American TV shows now are about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because obviously with adverts it's an hour, but when they show it like Netflix and whatever, all the adverts are cut out, so it's like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good choice. So we're down to our number ones. Are we ready for this? The last stretch.
Let's do this.
All right, so everyone who knows me, especially you guys, you know what my number one is. It's Stranger Things, regardless.
Yeah, I knew this was going
Hands down, it's going to be Stranger Things. From the nostalgia to the soundtrack to the characters to the story to everything. And then we went to Stranger Things Secret Cinema last year.
Amazing.
And when we walked through the doors of the Stockholm Mall and we were back in 1985, that's the reason why I love Stranger Things. Live in that era again. I know a lot of people don't like this nostalgia. Well, that's the that's the premise of the show. That's why people watch it, because it's back to a day when they were kids. I mean, if I was a kid back then fighting monsters and shit, I'd friggin' love it. I'd be well in my element back there.
But see, some of you guys were kids during the 80s. I was an adult, so for me it was like living it all over again. It's an amazing show.
When I see Stranger Things, I literally see you, bro.
Yeah, just see Ant-Man.
Mate, would I buy an arcade themed Stranger Things themed arcade if I wasn't a fan of it? So it's no question, and I cannot wait for season 4.
Yeah, I think we'll
Very
win.
cool.
Nice.
Amazing. I mean, that is definitely. If I had a 0.5, I'll definitely choose Stranger Things. My number one has been mentioned. It's Lost. I
knew it.
And I'm so happy. Again, I'm so happy.
My man.
Yeah, and again, when this whole thing came out, like, again, and would you agree? I mean, guys, everyone, would you agree? It's a show that, it blurred the line between movies and TV shows in terms of production quality.
Yes.
Because the first episode you watch, and I'm like, am I watching a movie?
That
I'm not
plane
in a
crash
cinema.
was amazing.
I
I remember you getting an orgasm for that.
Mate,
Oh my God.
this guy remembers that, yeah. It was funny because we went to play football the next day, right, with all friends, from our schools and stuff. And I remember just like us having a break and sitting down. And these are guys who at the time were listening to So Solid Crew and getting through that whole Rude Boy era. And they were talking about Lost. Do you see that thing yesterday, bruv? And stuff like that. That's what it was. It was just like,
Oh, mate, in that episode, they got like 21 seconds, innit?
It was incredible. And that just shows homage to the type of show that it was. And I absolutely stuck with that, like religiously would watch every episode. And I remember so my dad's like, we're going to India to see the family. And I was so pissed off because it was mid-season of season 1. I'm going to miss 2 episodes of Lost. But then the way that the timing worked was on Channel 4 or E4 would show a repeat on that following Sunday. So it'd be shown on a Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. And then on E4 at 6 o'clock, they would show it. That's how much I remember.
The days when you couldn't have a Skybox to record it for you.
Exactly.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I still didn't have Sky at that point, so I had to watch the reruns. And I remember that the night before we flew out was the Tuesday night, and I happened to come back on the Sunday. And I remember telling the taxi driver, Dad, can you tell this guy to come home quick? Because we came home on the Sunday because they're showing the E4 rerun, and it happened to just
Tears in your
coincide.
eyes,
So
yeah.
technically, I didn't miss a single episode. It was that. That's how I was on that.
Going on
show.
holiday, but you still can't think about it.
Exactly.
Commitment, mate.
And this is a time where you couldn't download stuff or stream stuff on the internet, so you had to watch
absolutely.
it. And
J.J. Abrams, right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Was that J.J. Abrams?
It's
Yeah,
it's
so
a show that made
he
it.
was.
Yeah.
So he created the
'Cause-
show, and I
yeah.
believe he directed like the first episode.
Yeah.
Or the first 2 episodes, anyway.
Definitely, it was a bad robot.
yeah.
thing, so he
Bad
had a signature
robot.
on it. Bad robot. It's brilliant.
Previously
But
on Lost.
have you ever watched? Did you on the DVD? Did you ever watch it on the DVDs?
I
Lost?
didn't. No. Did they have special?
No. So there's a special feature basically on the first episode, and spoiler alert: there's a polar bear that jumps out of the bushes in there, So in the original cut, it's just like an inflatable, horrible-looking polar bear. And J.J. Abrams was like, "Oh no, we've got to cut this quickly," and they had to CGI at the very last minute, like the day before the show aired. They had to CGI very quickly.
CGI.
Wow.
And that was a good job with the CGI.
Yeah, it's so funny. If I can find that clip on YouTube, I'll send it to you.
So what was it instead?
So basically, when it jumps out, they just literally threw like not an inflatable. It's like a really bad looking cuddly toy of a polar bear. It looked terrible. It was like the body of a polar bear, but the head of a dog. And it didn't look anything like it. But because they cut it quickly, they thought they can get away with it. But J.J. Abrams looked back and was like, "No, can't cover that quickly." And they literally had to CGI that the day before that episode aired.
That's incredible.
So yeah.
To me, the reason, picking up like when Anderson, the reason why The Lost meant a lot to me is because I religiously watch that every episode, and it gets to you on an emotional level.
Absolutely, there's loads of episodes where it hits you big time.
Yeah, definitely. Every character there is.
You felt sorry for.
It's like I said, I cried on the last episode.
And can I tell you something? Me too, mate. Yeah, because that episode, it also aired on my birthday. It was not good.
Oh, no,
it was meant to be. Yeah. So I watched that, and I think that's at that point streaming had come out. So then you could stream it, on that day, and it was so emotional. And every episode you're watching, and you're knowing these characters, the numbers, the guy inside, like all these little things, and even like the Oxford professor and explaining the time travel. There was so much depth.
Genius.
It was absolutely genius.
I'm literally going to watch it again after.
I think so.
Yeah,
I so badly want to binge that again. And I'm so glad I picked that up actually, because
it's a good choice, mate. Well done.
Because I have to spend 20 minutes talking about that because it's so much.
So I did it instead.
Brilliant. Yeah, but that's my number one.
Good choice, mate.
Nice.
Good choice.
Yes.
My number one is we already spoke about earlier. Again, is New Amsterdam. It's
Number one. Wow.
Good show.
First medical drama, and it's my number one. It means a lot to me. Well, it's a good show for me.
I honestly would not have thought that would.
Yeah,
I know you mentioned it, but wow,
it's
one.
It gives you a good insight on what a hospital was. What they show is like literally a fraction of what they actually do. But it's amazing what they show. Like you got different doctors. Like what they show a cardiothoracic surgeon that goes through like, what he does, like, going through the heart and stuff. And they got a neurologist specializing in nerve diseases, a child psychiatrist. So each episode goes through. Each of these doctors have different problems, different patients coming to them, and how the way they solve it. And
you can't understand how it
touches on their personal life as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, what were you saying, BJ?
You kind of understand how a hospital kind of works.
And again, it's just a small bit. Obviously, you got like the maternity ward, and stuff like which they don't show, but it's really good, and you do really appreciate the health system all across the world, and it's not an easy job.
It's the episode that gets me where the parents know their kid's going to go, and it's just. Can we turn this over now?
It's
the harsh truth, isn't it? And it's just.
You have to pause it. You stop it. And especially
you wait for someone come in and save them. The harsh reality is that's not the case, isn't it? So,
where's Superman when you need him?
Yeah.
But it's you do get attached to Dr. Max Goodwin.
He's such a good character.
It's a good cast for him, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you remember him on Blacklist, John?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was amazing. That's my number one. There you have it.
Wow, good pick. I didn't see that coming. Good on you, mate. Good on you.
Good, man.
Can't believe that's your number one. I did not like that show, but yeah.
All right.
Everyone's different, though.
Five. My top five, not yours.
The door is behind you.
Okay, my one is Death Note. If none of you have seen it, please leave now. Death Note. It's an anime series.
Death Note, yeah, of course, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, please leave.
I heard that you really like the movie.
Oh shit! No, shut up! Shut up! No, do not watch the movie if anyone's like. No, it just the series, anime series, is the best show. It came out I think 2006, 2007, and I was doing my A levels when I got into this. A friend showed me he recommended me. I was like, okay, let me check this out. I think it was my first or second anime. I watched it, went home, watched it. I had school the next Thursday and Friday. no one saw me for a week. Like, I'm serious. I watched the show. That's how hooked I was. I watched it. I spent like 4 o'clock in the morning trying to. This is one of the shows series I actually binge watched. Yeah, it was so good. If anyone doesn't know about it, it's about this high school student. He's in Japan. He's a very like educated, very smart guy, and he's going through his studies. And he's his like thought of justice. He's kind of just had enough of life, and he sees the same shit, people getting murdered, all that stuff. And his dad's a detective. And he just thought he wants to change this whole world, and like that's his justice, kind of trying to sort this out. And then one day, I think he walks past. You see a book drop from the sky, And then this book he finds out. So what is it? And he reads it, takes it home, reads it. It's a death note, and then from there, you write a name. Someone dies in 51 seconds. Then you can and he learns about the powers of this, and it gets so much more better than that. Because he starts doing that, and how he changes, his character changes, and it's not about justice. His justice is something else. Then he's trying to be a god, So his
what was the character called in that? Not the
Kira. When he becomes Kira. Oh, light.
Yagami Light.
Yagami Light.
That's it.
Yeah. And he goes. It's a battle between him and someone else called L. And he's trying. It's like I won't go into detail because it's just like it's a messed up battle.
It's a psychological battle.
Yeah. And I love psychological throws, and this is a bit of psychological in it. So it's like it's amazing. Yeah.
Imagine when you think for a second, if you really want to kill someone, you just sort of write their name in a book.
Exactly.
And then 50 seconds later, is it? Or there's a specific time it happens.
It actually goes into detail. It's not that book has rules, and it's actually detailed. It's not just that. It's more detailed, and he learns about it, and there's it's amazing. It's very well thought out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One side you got the book, and you got the Kira, the main character, but try being a detective and try to figure out who's killing all these people. Now that's where the story kicks off, and it's the confrontation between him and the detective L is just amazing.
Exactly,
it's like both of them are like
geniuses,
same IQs, and how one is. It's I was talking about Money Heist. How Professor thinks 10 steps ahead. This is
what's going on here.
Yeah, this is what kind of started my love for this sort of confrontation. Yeah. I love stuff like when the main character does like something, but. The other guy is he's like another
psychological battle. Yeah, you see it on and on in every episode. It's
that
amazing.
is one of my. It's if I had a top 10 anime, that would bang and top on my list.
But yeah, definitely.
Damn good show. Everyone needs to check that shit out.
Now. if you're thinking of getting into anime, start with this one. It's definitely a good one. It's very.
It is very mythical a little bit with
it's got a death god in, but
if you can look past that, I know some people don't like all this,
realistic, but I think you definitely enjoy it.
It is an amazing show.
Good pick, mate.
Cheers.
Definitely good pick.
Definitely on my top 10 though.
The movie's in my top 10.
Don't even start.
Shut
up. My number 1 is Dark.
Yeah.
I think that's all I need to say. I mean, what a show, innit? I think this one, again, it's like been consistent throughout all 3 seasons. I think they've gone straight to the point. The cinematography, the soundtrack.
But you're a big time travel person, though, aren't you?
I mean, this one, I am. I love time travel. I do love a good time travel film or series. Anything to do with time travel, I'm there. And this one is when it first came out. And I remember. And I think you mentioned it to me, didn't you? And I was just like, I love the fact that if you watch a time travel show, like you near the end, it comes back and you're like, oh my god, there's one bit where I can't spoil it. I can't even talk about it.
I know.
It's fascinating. If anyone listening love a good time travel show, this is probably the best. Realistic.
I mean, number 1 would have to be Back to the Future, right? I mean, in terms of everything, that kind of
the current time. This is probably the best one.
It's
just amazing. I just can't stress out.
It is just amazing.
It's genius.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the script would be like this, especially for season 3?
I can't even explain that. You can't explain it to anyone.
The continuity for that series.
Yeah.
So another thing that's amazing about the show is the cast.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you talked about that because it is brilliant. Not just because their characters, because obviously you got characters at current present time, and then you got those characters how they are when they're old
and young,
or when they're young, and the casting, it's on point. I don't know if
They
they've
actually
done,
look like.
Yeah,
look
exactly.
like-
It's,
That's the thing,
I don't know if they've
Yeah.
done some sort of
Everything.
makeup aesthetics for them or not. But
Yes.
if they have, it's a damn good job. Or if they, or is that or they've casted some brilliant lookalikes.
I don't know how these guys do it. Do they have like a database and they just kind of like tickle the, like thin jaw, blue eyes or something? Because it's scary.
Yeah. Even the kids look like them, man. It's just wicked.
Or maybe they had a time machine, actually went back in time and pulled him back.
But the show's real.
Can we do an episode on time travel?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Dark. Check it out.
I'm going to add it to the list, the time travel episode.
Yeah, that's my list done, and I'll pass it over
John,
to
to finish off. Drum roll, please.
I knew it.
My number one, The Shield.
Good show. Cracking cop show, that is.
If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's probably the best cop show that has ever been on television.
Yep, I second that, definitely. Me and my wife were hooked on that show. Absolutely hooked. It is good.
Because they're it's about a group, a small team within the LAPD. They're called the strike team, and they're basically they get involved with the gangs, and they're trying to find the drug dealers and stuff. And so there's a lot of like undercover work and stuff like that. But these guys, they're more corrupt than the drug dealers they're trying to bring down. And you literally you want to be one of them, And they'll ambush a drug deal, and they'll take all the drugs, and then they'll murder one of them and frame another one, and they won't hand in all the drugs, and they'll hand in some of it, and they might skim some of the money off as well. And they're so corrupt, it's unreal. Yeah, but you do. You want them to be bad. You don't want them to get caught. And it's just fantastic show.
Is it American, John?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like modern day police kind of. Yeah.
And it's one of them few shows that actually ended sort of kind of like how you expected it to end, really, didn't it? What do you reckon, Ant?
Debatable, personally.
It's a bit controversial, the ending.
I think personally the audience expected more of an ending, but I like the way it ended.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was the same. I expected a certain type of an ending for Mackie, but you didn't.
Detective Big Mackie.
Yeah, you didn't get the ending you expected.
What, is it? Can you watch it anywhere on Netflix or?
So, have any of you seen Sopranos? No. Right. So, spoiler alert: the very end of the episode, the very last episode, it kind of just cuts, and it became such a controversial ending. People were like, "I don't know whether I like that ending or not." Yeah. I think that's the same with The Shield, because you wanted this ending, you got that ending instead. Kind of like The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, it's not a bad ending. But
or Game of Thrones.
It's not what you expected.
Yeah, Was it a good ending? Were you happy with it?
It's good enough.
Yeah. I wasn't disappointed with it, but I think it's like Ant said. I had kind of like, after watching 7 seasons. Yeah. So by the time you get to the end of the 7th season, you've got like a certain like expectation. You think this is what's going to happen, and it doesn't quite pan out, but it's still pretty good.
Is it one of those and watch episode 1 and then watch the last episode sort of thing?
No, God, no.
Surprisingly,
no.
Right. So no, it's not. But season 1, hear me out on this, John. Season 1 is very poorly shot. Yes. Like, when you watch it, you can see cameramen in the background and stuff like that and whatnot. It's very poorly shot.
Did they rush it or something?
I don't think it's rushed. I think it's the way it's filmed, because a lot of it's realistic camera work, very shaky stuff. And I think at points they forget, oh shit, there's the cameraman with a steady cam there and whatnot. To a point, I thought it was trying to be like a documentary series, but it's not. It is an actual crime drama thriller sort of thing. But it's definitely not watch first episode, watch the last.
Okay, I'll check that out.
But Dark's definitely one of those.
No, don't even go there, mate. Don't even.
And Death Note, definitely Death Note.
Shut up.
Especially in the movie. No, just winding up. Good choice, John. I recommend The Shield to anyone as well. If you love a good drama cop sort of show, I say it's the best one.
Is it on Prime or anything like that?
I think it comes on and off Netflix. It's not always on there, but you have to take a chance with it.
I might check it out because I'm
that
into
sounds
cops as
interesting,
well, like cop.
Yeah, like cop
stuff.
drama.
If you like, you know,
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
not quite,
Don't get him started.
like the whole corrupt cop thing.
Yeah.
Then definitely your bag, baby.
Yeah, fair enough. That sounds like mine.
Bit like sounds like Training Day. Is it like that?
Yeah, to a degree.
Really?
2 degrees. Training Day TV
Yeah,
series.
seven seasons of Training Day, and you're near enough.
You went on about Shield at work. I always thought you were talking about the Marvel Shield. No. Oh,
No, because that's called Agents of Shield, not the
I
Shield.
thought that's what you always talked
You know
about.
what?
Okay.
I thought exactly the same. I thought you were talking
That's
about
what I thought.
Wow, well done, guys.
That's nice.
Good top fives.
Wow.
I hope everyone who's listening enjoyed that and took down some recommendations as well.
Amazing.
So
Yes.
Well, we've got
Yeah.
Vikings and the Shield to go home to.
yeah, I've got so many shows to go home and put to my list.
yeah.
Yeah, nice for sharing. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
guys.
No, thanks for your top fives and your recommendations. Thank you for
big
coming
time.
on the show.
Thanks for having us.
No, thank you. Thank you. Come back again and again and again, please.
Yeah, we will.
So yeah, that's episode 5. If you want to follow us on Facebook, we're on Facebook now, the M.T.V.B podcast, and on Instagram at MTV, the M.T.V.B podcast. We're now also available on iTunes, Spotify, Breaker Audio, Radio Republic, and now Pocket Casts. So you can find us on so many platforms now.
Nice.
So once again, guys, thank you for coming on. And this is the M.T.V. podcast, and this is the Ant Man signing off.
Yes. Until next time.